for super fast.
So many good matches, so many good players, a total of $1 million prize pool.
Ladies and gentlemen, whether you're at home or right here in Helsinki, Finland, welcome to the Clash of Clans World Finals. Audience, are you ready for your first match?
We have Aaron Expos on the bottom side. Gaku is celebrating and a fantastic 3-star to start. Making his way to the backside with 5 Super Barbarians left. You hear the crowd and it is looking good for Phillip. He's moving his way through and General X is gonna get it there for Synchronic.
It's a balloon parade! Judo, that's what's going on. We haven't seen a ton of emotion, but I saw a beautiful smile there from Shi. All they need is one more 2-star. Na'Vi had a beautiful upper bracket run, and now they go 0-2 in our group phase, which means they will be our first team eliminated. M.T.F.Y are your winners, and they move on to Sunday.
This is still a super fast attack by Synchronic as well. They have the celebration, the crowd there as well, and they deserve it. Wow, Synchronic with 2 perfect wars today, going through to Sunday's finals as the #1 seed. Clash on!
As the smoke clears after our first day of competition, we get a sense of the preparation that our teams have made leading up to this point. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Superfest and welcome to day 2 of the Clash of Clans World Finals. My name is Barney Banks and I am your host, and today we are one step closer to that $1 million prize pool and of course the beautiful Clash of Clans trophy. Yesterday, we said goodbye to one of our competitors, and today we will be doing the same, leaving just 4 in the race for the championship. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Remember, you can head over to event.supercell.com to earn in-game rewards while you watch the stream. And with that being said, it's time to go over to our caster booth. So make some noise for Itsu and Clash Bashing!
Thank you so much, Banks. We are here for day 2 of Superfest. We have 3 more teams looking to play for the final 2 spots on Championship Sunday. I'm Clash Bashing, joined by Itsu here at the casting desk. Itsu, how are you feeling here on day 2?
I mean, I am so ready after yesterday. We had incredible action, upsets, fan favorites going home after just the first day. And I think today will be even more crazy.
Oh man, we got some awesome teams, but let's go ahead and take a look at the format and kind of how we've got here. We have 6 teams playing through 2 group stages. The top 4 will move on to a single elimination finals tomorrow. We are playing 5v5 clan wars where each player has 1 attack, and we are playing in hard mode. The last team standing will be crowned your 2024 Clash of Clans World Champions.
And not just the crown is on the line. No, there's a lot of pricing on the line as well. So let's take a look at that. 5th and 6th seed. So those teams who are dropping out today and yesterday are still going to make $60,000. But the first seed, that is the big prize money. $300,000 on the line. Overall, a total of $1 million prize pool. That is a lot.
That is very, very impressive. Man, I would be super excited, but let's take a look at our bracket. As we said, we had Group 1 play out yesterday. A little bit of a shock, a little bit of a surprise, as our first team eliminated was fan favorites Na'Vi, which means Synchronic and M.T.F.Y will already move on to Sunday. Today, we're gonna go ahead and narrow down and eliminate 1 more team and have 2 more teams advance.
That's right, and if you take a look at as well the scores we had so far, it felt like always the winning team has gotten those 15 stars,
yes,
which feels to be the threshold you want to beat. And that's the question if those teams can make it today as well. So let's take a look at the predictions and the matches which are about to happen. For the first match, we're looking today at, well, Bash, we're agreeing here. Miller's team, we have heard their fans already in the crowd. While Carvin and Judo going with the Stamina Esports. Both teams have a lot of history, and I think we're going to touch on that quite a bit during the match. But there's so many good matches.
There's a good variety throughout. If you look at all of the caster predictions, I'll talk about mine a little bit later because I think this group could be a very close group, a very interesting group, but like you said, we'll touch on all of that as we kind of get going here today. It's going to be an awesome day of Clash.
It is going to be for sure because, well, seeing the teams yesterday coming up with their own strategies which we have not seen in this variation in the game. And those teams today might bring something similar today on offense or on defense. It's always as well, being ahead of the curve on defense as well, bring something to the table which the other teams have not seen. Because remember, all of those matches have to be really fast-paced when it comes down to the planning, which means around 5 minutes, I would say that's what the players have in combination with the nerfs. That is stressful.
Yeah, but we definitely want to know who you guys are thinking at home. Who is going to win the championship? And we took a look, and man, after Synchronic's performance yesterday, 54%. But I mean, if you watch those wars, I completely understand. But Tribe haven't even played a match, and they are at 25%. Ooh, spicy reaction from the crowd, Itsu.
They have their own predictions, let's put it that way. But overall, the two big favorites seems to be Synchronic and Tribe. The question is, can they live up to this expectation level of the crowd? Yesterday, it did not work out for Na'Vi, so I'm not sure if it's something good that the community really believes in Tribe here.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that. We'll hop into all that. But guys, it's time. Let's head over to Banks. He's going to introduce our teams.
Thank you so much, Itsu and Bash. Our next two teams are prepped and ready. Just 2 opportunities to make it through into Championship Sunday, where that $1 million prize pool awaits. And so, your first team that is ready to take to the main stage is Darkstar, Fluxy, Synthé, Hawk, and Ninja. They are Stamina Esports. And their opponents, Kingsman, Temper, Tryhard, Nachoa, and Max. They are Minasim MG.
I think today is going to be a great day. Feeling the energy already of the crowd, the fans, which as well are here in the arena with the teams together. I think this will be a really electric showdown.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and let's hop in a little bit deeper here. Let's take a look at our first team, Stamina Esports. Darkstar, Fluxy, Synthé, Hawk, Ninja. This team is well-rounded. Kind of what we talked about yesterday, a very international team, but look at these hit rates. Very, very impressive.
It is very impressive indeed. But again, at this point, I think it's, again, our pleasure to remind everyone it is played in hard mode. Those stats were collected before then, which means the question is, how does all of those different teams react to this? And the special thing about Stamina Esports really is that they were not showing their hands whatsoever during the last couple of weeks. They opted out of tournaments that did not show anything on offense or defense. The question now is that paying off? Where everything is coming down to pretty much 2 matches of making it to the next day.
I think that's going to be a huge talking point, but let's go ahead and let's talk about their opponents. Minasim MG, mostly made up of French players, kind of a tight-knit group, but we do have some additions to the squad with Temper and Max, Kingsman, Temper, Tryhard, Nachoa, Max. Well-rounded, again, very high hit rates, but like you said, those were played before the new hard mode changes, and those hard mode changes are very significant. I'm sure we'll touch on that as the wars are getting underway, but this team, a lot of unity. They've been together. That core group has been together for quite a while now.
That's right, for sure. They are together for quite some time, which means they have this core chemistry. And as well, something which we have seen yesterday, which is playing in favor of some teams, the experience. Those players have been on the World Championship stage, most of them for quite some time, which means they know how to react there. And as we're taking a look at the fan predictions, Stamina Esports seems to be the favorites based on what the community thinks.
Yeah, but it wasn't as one-sided as yesterday. Remember, we had like 90% and like 80% yesterday. Today feels more of a toss-up with a little bit of favor to SCMN with 59% of the vote. But, I mean, you take away a few percent there, and this one's pretty close. So, even though it is sided to Stamina here, I would say that the community is kind of undecided on this matchup. I think we could say about the whole group here in day number 2. we feel that way. A lot of close matchups, a lot of close rosters. It should be a really great day.
Yeah, and overall, it really comes down to the preparation. We have heard already from all of those 3 teams that they have prepared in offensive or defensive some things which the other team might not expect, which means it's coming down to how effective that is. We have seen that yesterday from Synchronic. They really, really surprised their opponents and made good use out of their, well, new Titan strategy. Do those teams today have something as well like that in store?
I think we heard from a lot of these teams that they do have something that they've been practicing. They all have a unique strategy that they've been kind of working on. My thing is, maybe all these teams are practicing Titans. What if that's the case? But I think everyone kind of has that strategy. Although we did see Na'Vi kind of sticking to those old school classic strategies they're used to, and it didn't pay off. But guys, we're going to find out if it's going to pay off here. We're ready for the first attack.
And the first attacker is going to be from Millis' team. It's going to be Max, and his parents are actually in the crowd as well. And the question is that going to be more energy for him, or is that more pressure? He's going in with an incredible mix of a ton of different troops, mostly from the Root Rider attacks, which we already know, but he's mixing an Electro Dragon, which can be used as funneling, but as well as like a time method where you're putting it on an outside storage and you're saving quite a bit of time.
Ooh, look at this. He could get a nice chain, maybe even get to the Eagle. He gets a hit on the Eagle. Let's see if we get that chain. Now, the chain is not going to continue. The E-Drag will go over. And he is going to set up a beautiful funnel with this Electro Dragon. We saw that yesterday. Some surgical E-Drags. Seeking Air Mine will take that Electro Dragon down. The value is gone, but he did set up a little bit of pathing on the top.
But the Eagle has survived, and I think that was the big goal for him, to take that out. The King has walked in, is now going to be stuck on those defensive Clancaster troops as the main push is now starting with the Roy Champion trying her best to push everything further inside. The Root Riders should not go for the Expo, and most of them are staying in the core, but the troops are quite split right now.
That first Overgrowth was deployed, which means all of those buildings will be unavailable for attacking, for defending. Those buildings are out of commission for just a short period here. But look at this strong push through the middle. Remember, those Root Riders, they walk right on through walls, but not only that, they destroy walls as they walk through. As he deploys that second Overgrowth, Max is off to a strong start right here. I guess the story will be, is this their go-to strategy? We'll see as this war goes on, but Max is looking very strong. Lots of troops in the middle of this base. Still has Queen and Royal Champion ability, with some super barbs yet to be deployed.
Yeah, but the Town Hall and the troops' defenses around are going to wake up pretty soon, which means a lot of damage then for those troops. And that's exactly right now the timing. And take a look at that, Bash. The Town Hall is pretty much the last defense at this stage. The Rocket Spear has been activated. The Town Hall has to go down. Max. There goes the freeze.
Here
and
it
the
is.
last defense is now at the bottom far right side.
It's done, Itsu. It's going to be a 3-star, I believe. He still has that Ricochet cannon, but it's open. Valkyrie's in there. Max celebrates. Good 3-star for the young man. I know I talked with him and his nerves were going crazy. So him attacking first and getting that 3-star, he has to feel great about that. But not only that, look at that. The parents are in the audience. Oh, what a feel-good story, Itsu.
And it has to be so good for the team having the young player performing first and as well delivering. What a great start for Millis' team. And as well, we have already said, those two teams, they are sharing a lot of history. And, well, Max is part of this because they somewhat changed players over the season, where Hawk was going for the other side, Max was as well, like switching sides. And there was a lot of community reaction to that, let's put it that way. So a really, really electrifying topic when it comes down to opinions there. And he is delivering versus his ex-team.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing here, is when you do bring in a new player, especially so late into the season, and essentially the Snapdragon Pro Series Season 5 was kind of his tryout. Funny enough, Millis' MG, they won the whole thing, so it makes a lot of sense for them to say, all right, Max, I think you earned that spot, but we're going to have to see if Dark Star for STMN can get that response. We saw yesterday, once you make that mistake and fall behind, it is so hard to make that comeback.
Yes, indeed. It is always hard to make that comeback, but we see as well, Dark Star is concentrating, and I think we should not let him wait because we are diving into the attack.
Dark Star is ready. Our first attack for STMN Esports, and it's going to be rocket balloons. We'll have to see if there's a fireball here on the Grand Warden. There is, along with an Angry Jelly. We see the Angry Jelly from time to time. Remember, that Angry Jelly is going to force the hero it's attached to only target defenses for the first 30 seconds. So that's very, very huge to set up this fireball and get the pathing, as fireballs are going to target the nearest defense.
And especially because time is always a big factor with this strategy. Being able to use this Angry Jelly, you can bypass the outside buildings and play some minions, play some archers as he is doing in behind the Warden. And because of the Warden Rage gem, he can make sure that he's really quickly going through those defenses and outside buildings. Right now, trying to push further into the core. I feel like the fireball is supposed to go around that core section with the multi-infernal tower, scatter shot, something like that. And he's preparing, and there we go. Fireball is flying and hitting the target, and the core is gone.
Boom goes the dynamite, the clan castle is down, and that's one of the big things with these fireball attacks. If you can destroy that clan castle before any troops come out, those troops are not going to be on defense. So being able to fireball and get down the clan castle is a huge, huge thing. Now, here's one thing to keep an eye on. Yesterday, we kind of saw with Gaku's attack, his queen got a little bit too close, and the Warden kind of followed that queen, and it led to some issues. But it looks like Darkstar did a great job of keeping his king and queen away from the Warden. The Warden's job is to work on his own with those healers and get as much value and eventually get to that town hall.
Exactly, he's trying to get towards the town hall while the Rocket Loons should take down the No! The Monolith's staying alive. He has to reinforce with more Rocket Loons. Can he take it out? And yes, it is going down, but it has cost him a couple of more Rocket Loons, which in the end on the back end could be a factor.
It's a pretty heavy back end. You're right. Ricochet Cannon, Royal Champion over there deploying. Here comes his Royal Champion into the mix. What do you see, Netsu?
I'm not sure. Okay, the town hall is going down because he was deploying her really close to the Warden. He's switching over, and if that town hall would have not went down, the Warden following, that could have caused disaster for him. But he's now closing in on the last couple of defenses.
Here we go. Rocket Loons to be deployed. 7 Rocket Loons still. Also has that Skeleton spell, which can distract some of these defenses, whether it be that Royal Champion, the Expo, that Ricochet Cannon. Those Ricochet Cannons can eat these heroes alive. Queen is forced to ability. She's going to have Magic Mirror and some healers popping out. Final few Rocket Balloons being deployed. It's looking great for Darkstar as they're trying to get on the board with the 3-star rebuttal from Millicom MG, and it will be just that, Itsu.
It is going to be the 3-star, but remember, we have heard from a lot of teams, they're expecting 15 stars from their opponents. And this attack is not the fastest. So for everyone who is not maybe that familiar with Clash Esports, it's always the most important thing, stars. Yes. After that, it's percentage, and then the average time is the next tiebreaker. But if both teams are to be expected, or at least expecting each other, to get 15 stars, you have to consider time as a tiebreaker as well, and that attack was not really quick. We have seen some team mentioning that yesterday with Navi, who as well went in early with this Fireball Warden charge strategy, which is super consistent. It's one of the best strategies right now in the game, but it's just not as quick, which is a factor for those pro players.
Yeah, and we saw that with 2 minutes 33 seconds compared to Max at 1 minute 43. That's already a 50-second advantage. And if it does come down, we haven't seen a double perfect yet, but it does come down to, if it does come down to that, that time's going to play in. Tryhard is going to be our next attacker against the captain of STMN, Fluxy. This is a very pivotal attack. I think every attack until someone misses is going to be so crucial. To have that mental focus, be in the zone, ready to go. You can't make any mistake. The first team to make a slip up could cost them the war.
That is right, we have seen that yesterday, and I think we should try to find out as quickly as possible. So let's see what Fluxy has to do.
Let's see if Tryhard will in fact try hard on Fluxy's base. Here we go, more roots. Itsu, it looks like the double overgrowth roots might be Millicom's strategy. We've seen this yesterday with M.T.F.Y. They were using Root Riders as well. I know we talked about all the nerfs. Roots have been nerfed 3 times themselves. Valkyries had a nerf, Super Barbarians had a nerf. Even the overgrowth spell had a slight radius decrease. So that every aspect of this attack has been nerfed, but these pros are seeing something that they like and some consistency with the Root Rider strategy.
And especially they're so good in manipulating the pathing of those troops, because take a look at that. Sending the king for the town hall. The town hall should go down somewhat soon, and this is now pushing out of the Root Riders into the core. The entire base is going to be open, and the Valkyries can really do their thing, spinning around, doing the damage, and this is exactly what he needs in this current position with reinforcing from the outside with the Super Barbarians.
Yeah, we've always needed that synergy for the Valkyries, and the Root Riders bring just that. The one issue Valkyries have always had is they can kind of go astray, they can kind of get distracted, but with the Root Riders going to the middle of the base and opening it up, it allows those Valkyries to get in there, get between those defenses, spin a Rooney, and take everything down. They're fighting that Queen on the top side. If they can get her, it'd be great. Oh, not quite on the Queen, but still has plenty of force pushing through the bottom of this base.
And here's another wall breaker, which he's going to use right now to get into the base. The wall break is not exactly going where it's supposed to go. If you're wondering, this is why we have those corner openings of the walls to make sure that those wall breaks are really, really unpredictable. But now he has the Rage Tower activated, but I mean, come on, there is just so much power left. And Tryhard taking Flaxy out, taking this base out to get the next 3-star.
And to look at that time, 1 minute 34, 35. Oh, he has the Inferno. 1 minute and 38, 39. Oh my goodness, 39 seconds. But still, sub 2 minutes, a much faster attack than what we have already seen from STMN. It's kind of interesting because we talked previously about the speed meta that we had previously, but now it's all about getting those 3-stars. But Millicene MG kind of bringing that speed meta back just a little bit here.
And I feel like even though it's unlikely to have those 15 stars, we have heard from so many of those teams that they're expecting those 15 stars. So
Yes.
this is really the mindset then, where they're then getting forced. Wait a second, do we have to go for time as well? Which is just such a big factor because it's putting so much pressure on their own team then, if you have to like run behind the other team when it comes down to time. So mixing up the strategy, for example, playing something which you're not really familiar with strategy-wise can be a factor. This is why we're highlighting it so much with those two teams, because I feel like they are incredibly consistent and they were so good with the last couple of weeks of matches they played.
Yeah, that's something we're definitely going to keep our eye on throughout this whole group stage here today. But we're going to have Ninja attacking next, actually going against Max. Two of the younger players here on the team, two Americans here, making their way to the big stage in Helsinki, Finland. Let's see what Ninja does.
He's as well one of the main base builders for Stamina Esports. He's really good with those bases, and it seems like they just keep going with the Warden charges. They feel like, okay, they have enough good bases that they don't feel bothered risking the time factor. They're just saying, okay, we're trying to go as safe as possible with our attacks, and at some point, maybe through pressure with the stage, through something, there is going to be a fail on the other side. This is what they're banking on right now. The question now, though, is can they deliver with the strategy? Because we know it's powerful, we know it's strong, but we have seen fails yesterday with especially this strategy. So the question is, how safe is it actually?
And, well, like you were telling me, Etsu, it is a very safe strategy that can actually 3-star most bases when executed properly if you don't fall to any bait or anything like that. But the big issue, look at this, we're already 45 seconds into the attack and we really haven't done anything. We're just setting up the stage. We're just setting up the pathing. That Angry Jelly does come off the Warden. He's setting up the Fireball. Earthquakes are in, and there we go. Another Fireball lands right into the middle, actually taking out that Rage Tower, also one with the Clan Castle, but also the Town Hall got damaged, but there's a Battle Builder now healing that Town Hall up. We'll have to see if that plays a factor into the attack a little bit later on.
And take a look at this genius move. He is using loons, 4 of them, to make sure the Warden is going further to the right side because he wants to start with his heroes on the left side. He does not want to have the Warden following the heroes, so he's using 4 loons, so the Warden is following them, going further to the right side, away from his hero, so he can finally start and push the attack into the next stage, which is this hero dive. So a really smart use case right there from Ninja, making sure that he can push his heroes in the right direction without really like, well, doing anything else except just dropping loons.
Yeah, and that's a big part of this attack. It's almost like a tag team match here. King and Queen on the top, the Warden's on the bottom, and they're all in charge of separate areas of the base. And then we've kind of seen this where the Royal Champion will come in, help out the Grand Warden when he needs a little bit of assistance, and now he'll follow her along and they'll work together on the bottom side to finish through and get to that Ricochet cannon on the bottom side of, or the far side of the base, excuse me. Meanwhile, we got rocket loons being deployed. They'll clean up, take a little bit of that pressure off. This is very well executed for Ninja, just a little bit of slower attack.
Yeah, just such a safe strategy, and especially if executed properly like those pros are doing, it is looking so strong. Take a look at that, another rage has been deployed. Yes, another freeze not even deployed just yet, and this base is crushed. What a wonderful attack right there from Stamina Esports, and this means they're tying things up on stars in this matchup.
But Itsu, another slower attack. I know we're not expecting a double perfect, but the way these two teams are playing, neither attack has really been close. Let's be honest with ourselves. But all it takes is one mistake, but we still have 6 attacks yet to go in this war, and these two teams are playing really well. But if it does come down to time, Milliceme were 50 seconds faster again. That means Milliceme is already up nearly 2 minutes, a minute and 40-second advantage. I'm not expecting a double perfect, but we do have to take that into account. It's something we need to be aware of throughout this entire matchup.
Yeah, but as well, something which we have heard is that Stamina Esports has prepared so many bases.
Yes.
So I think they really believe in their own base building that they can defend this one crucial time. Even if it's a 99% 2-star, that will be totally enough for them to actually clutch out the victory. And I think this is exactly what they're counting on right now, which then gives us the question, okay, next attacker of Milliceme, can they perform with what they have done so far, non-stop 3 stars, to really then counteract what on the other side Stamina Esports is hoping for?
Yeah, and it's a tough thing because you do all this preparation, but ultimately you don't know what your opponent's going to be using. You don't know that attack strategy. We're seeing the roots come back. Let's see if Nachoa continues that.
Are they going to switch things up? We have already seen it yesterday from the Chinese golden ticket winner team that they were using those Root Riders to quite some success. But no, it is actually going to be a different approach. It's going to be a mass super barbarian attack. That is really interesting. Is it going to be combined with the Warden charge or something different? What exactly are we going to see here? Have as well the Flame Flinger setup, which is as well something slower, but at this point, Milliceme, they have such a time lead. They can just do whatever they want right now, and this feels like exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, and they almost, as fast as their first 2 attacks up, they almost have a whole attack speed difference. And here comes that Grand Warden for the charge that you were speaking of, Itsu. It does have one Druid in there which can provide a little bit of additional healing, but the main focus is going to be on that Grand Warden. He does have that Fireball equipment. Remember, Fireball will target the nearest defense, and that's why we see so many invisibility spells in this attack strategy. He will use that invisibility on these defenses like we've seen on the other attacks, so he can get that Fireball just a little bit deeper in the base and get as much value as possible.
And as well, he has no poison in his army capacity, which means he wants to take down that clan castle with this Fireball. So he has to make sure that he's hitting that, because otherwise the clan castle itself could cause some serious issues with the follow-up of the attack then and with the heroes, which he's going to send him later then. But there goes the invisibility spells. He's turning everything invisible. There goes the Fireball in.
Nice.
It's going to take down the clan castle. He has got the value he was looking for, I think. And now it's all about the heroes.
Yeah, it's very risky when you're going that deep with the Fireball, but Nachoa lands it with precision. Now a few Super Barbarians in. We do have the Super Minions out of that Flame Flinger joining the King. They'll provide a little bit of support, and kind of what we saw Ninja do, using those Super Barbarians to get that Grand Warden to go to the left side of the base. Beautiful Earthquake boots there from the King, opening up the base, and now the King and Queen have access to the Town Hall.
The Royal Gem is sending from the top side to take down as much of those key defenses around there. With her Rocket Spear equipment, I would assume she should take down quite a few of more buildings. Those Testa are not the biggest threat to her. There goes the shield into the Rocket Spear, and this base is not going to see another day. We see the celebration, we see the energy on stage, and the crowd's reacting. It's going to be the next 3-star.
There is a huge presence for MMG here in the crowd, and it is 2 minutes, 15 seconds on that triple. So even though that was their slowest attack, still faster than both of the 3 stars for Stamina Esports so far. Milliceme look dialed in, they look laser focused, and they want to win this matchup.
And at this point, the question is really coming up. What is going to be now the game plan of Stamina Esports? Are they going to change things up? Are they going to try to go in with the more faster strategies, which we have seen early on from Milliceme? Or are they keep going with the Warden charges? Are they counting now on really on this defense? Because I feel like if they're not starting now, there is no coming back anymore from this time deficit. They need 3 fast attacks. So far they were every single time slower. And this is now an extra pressure point which they have on their shoulder.
Yeah, and you could almost argue that the time is already out of control. I mean, we were talking about 1:40 going into that attack, and their fastest attack was 2:29. So we haven't seen them go fast. So I think they're going to be banking on that defense here as the final 2 attacks go. But ultimately, this is not an elimination matchup. That is something to keep in mind. Throughout the group stage, each team will play each other one other time. So even if Milliceme do win this and Stamina lose, Stamina will play against Tribe just a little bit later on today. But Synthé is our next attacker. Let's see what he's bringing.
I can still remember Synthé from the Town Hall 15 meta. He was bringing the Mad Hard Rider attack strategy, which was always so crazy to watch. And it seems like he is now switching to the air with 10 regular loons and 18 rocket loons. So I would assume it is still going to be that Warden charge with the Angry Jelly again. It is just such a powerful strategy. And like at this point, they're committed. They're just going for the 15 stars and their option as safely as possible, with heavily thinking that they're going to get at least this one most crucial defense.
I almost think you have to in this situation kind of just stick to your guns, kind of stick to the game plan. A lot of time in American football, we see a team come out in those first drives, like they have a plan and they're going to stick to it no matter what happens. And I think that's what Stamina could do right here for Milliceme. He did have to make that Warden invisible, has to make him invisible again. Maybe burning through those invisibilities, still does have 3 of them. The Flame Flinger working on that right side. He is setting up that deep fireball. He does have a poison, so maybe not looking to take that Clan Castle out.
Yeah, maybe for something different. The Fireball still can be used. A lot of invisibility spells, and this as well maybe the moment. Remember, it is a hard mode match. This means the equipment are downgraded a little bit. Common equipment's level 15 and the epic one's level 21. This is why you're seeing more Earthquakes, because if you have a maxed out Fireball, you only need 1 Earthquake normally, but instead he is going in with more of them to make sure that he can take down whatever, and he actually took down the Clan Castle, and the poison was just a backup plan.
Yeah, just in case things went south, which we did see that Warden under a lot of pressure. He had to burn through multiple invisibilities to keep that Warden from getting taken out and getting that Fireball deployed too early. Remember, the Warden, if he gets too low on health and would be essentially knocked out, that Fireball is going to launch whether Synthé was ready or not. Now, King and Queen from the top side, that Warden's going to continue walking through here and picking up tons and tons of value. Beautiful Earthquake Boots will give the Queen access to the Town Hall. I think this is set up really nice, but again, time is a factor. Almost 2 minutes have elapsed in this attack.
Yes, around 70 seconds left for the attack itself, and there's overall a little bit of base left, but let's be honest, there's still the Royal Champion. There is 16 Rocket Loons. That is a lot of power for this backhand. At this point, I feel like the biggest threat to him is this monolith in the core. But with having so much backup and still spells left, I think he's looking really good on this one, Bash.
One thing I'm kind of picking up here, though, is it seems like they're definitely going to be sticking to their game plan, because Synthé could have definitely picked up the urgency right there, but elected to let things play out a little bit. Didn't rush anything, so they're going to take their time, and they're going to hope for that defense for Milliceme MG. It is going to be a 3-star for Synthé. It is very well executed, but again, that time may come into play. We are all tied up at 9 stars apiece as Synthé does lock down the 3-star. A well-executed rocket, balloon, Warden walk attack.
We have said Group B is an incredible close group, and the first couple of attacks showing that perfectly between those two teams. No fail just yet. Every single player has delivered and has gotten those 3 stars.
It's very consistent from our 2 squads so far. But look at that. Actually, the slowest attack yet. 2 minutes and 38 seconds for Synthé. I don't want to say it's uncharacteristic, but it seems like that's just their plan. They're going to use that strategy, which you and I talked about a lot, kind of off-cam preparation for the show. It's such a consistent strategy. It's so good. If you can control that Warden, keep him alive, which Synthé did a great job. He used those invisibilities. It is going to 3-star almost any base in Clash of Clans. However, with the Flinger, the setup for the Warden, it can be very slow.
It can be very slow indeed, and that can be a factor. I mean, we're highlighting it that it could be a factor. We have not seen so far a 15-15 score, but this match so far is looking incredible good. And now, with the next attack on the menu for Milliceme, it is going to be Kingsman going in. What is he going to bring? Are they now going to switch to the safe option now as well, with going with those Warden charges, like we have just seen with their last attack, or are they doing something different?
I think it's going to just kind of depend on what they've been practicing. I think all of our teams throughout, not only in Group B, but throughout, have that attack strategy they're very, very comfortable with. And I think that also is on a player-to-player basis. Each player knows what they're good with. They know what they can use. They know how they can get a 3-star. We will see him, Kingsman coming in, the captain of Team MG, looking to keep the streak alive. But if you're Stamina, right now, you need a defense in the worst way.
A defense would change the entire game right now. Another 3-star would make sure that Team is just keep staying ahead of Stamina Esports. And, well, it seems like to be another Warden charge. It is just so powerful. It's just so consistent. And if you're not saying, hey, they're just 3-star every single base, I want to try the strategy as well at home. Get ready, it can be frustrating, okay? It is not as easy as those pros make this look like. It is really powerful, but you need to keep that Warden alive, which is a lot of multitasking. But if you can master that, you are ready to go in Clash of Clans.
It is very tough. I've tried this attack strategy and keeping that Warden alive to get that deep value, get him pushed inside the base. But not only that, but making sure that your invisibilities cover all the buildings and cover the proper buildings. All it takes is missing one defense and your fireball is shot off to the side of the base. But these guys have practiced this. Fireball lands right in the middle of the base. The Earthquakes come in to take down that clan castle. Beautifully well executed for Kingsman. He is electing for the Super Barbarians instead of those rocket balloons. It almost feels like that's just kind of like a personal preference thing, because we've seen at the end of the attacks, whether it's rocket balloons or Super Barbarians, they're just there to kind of clean up and make some pathing for the heroes to finish.
Yeah, they're just the support, the backup plan pretty much, when the heroes have not already taken down everything. The siege barracks on this one as well, to make sure maybe things are a little bit faster, but as well the corners you can see on this base are well protected, so Flameflinger would have not gotten as much value since he's having a lot of expos or defending heroes where a Flameflinger could have been deployed. Now his Warden is coming really close to those other heroes, so that might... Oh, the Warden going down!
Warden is down. Queen goes to ability. Oh no. This is looking a little bit dire for Kingsman. You do not want to lose your Warden in the Warden walk. That's what Itsu was just talking about. Keeping the Warden up throughout that whole attack is essentially an extended Queen charge. But when you lose that firepower, it can be very devastating. He still does have plenty of super buffs. I think he's going to be able to recover this and be fine. But if that was earlier in the attack, that could have been very devastating. Luckily, Kingsman keeps his composure, brings it back, and it's going to be another 3-star for Team MG. Look at that celebration. Uh-oh, what's he got for us? What's he got? Itsu, was he?
What is happening?
I don't know. I'm waiting for it. Kingsman. Oh my God! Put some respect on that man's name, he says.
We know that this match has a lot of history, but they are showing this well here on stage. Those two teams are fighting till the end. It's just really, really crazy here.
There is a deep-seated rivalry. If you know, you know. But there was a lot of things that happened throughout this season. A lot of roster changes. A lot of behind-the-scenes things. Not only the roster changes, which is essentially Hawk moving to Stamina and Max coming over to Team MG, but Sente, a French player, formerly with this core group, played with Kingsman and Tryhard for so long, now has kind of moved on. There's a little bit of feelings in there, and we see that kind of coming to fruition right there.
It is indeed, and the question now, is there a reaction? Is there a reaction now in performance or maybe in any other way on stage? That will be really interesting to find out, but I think first we should check out the next attack.
Hawk is our next attacker, kind of at the center of everything we were just speaking of. He is going to be attacking Temper's base here with another rocket balloon strategy. I think Stamina have dialed in and made that decision. This is what we're doing the whole war. Hopefully we can get that defense. They were actually a little bit close there against Kingsman. Things didn't go to Kingsman plan, but he's able to keep it together. But Hawk is going to look to get that consistent 3-star. But we're one triple away from Team winning this war.
Yes, it's one attack away. But first, Stamina Esports need to get their own 3-star. They have went with, in their opinion, the safest strategy to get those 3 stars, but first they have to deliver that, because we have seen earlier, it can happen that the Warden is going down if there's too much damage and not paying attention for just 1 second. But so far, Hawk is doing a great job of keeping his Warden alive. There goes the invisibility spells. The fireball is dropping onto that sweeper, and he's getting a massive fireball, and a huge part of that base is gone. But he's now trying to get that Warden towards the Archer Queen, which yesterday has not worked so great, but you can do that.
Yeah, but it seems that that's intended. That's part of his plan. Where yesterday we saw Gaku, I don't think that was part of his plan. We didn't really pick up on that as I was talking about it on the broadcast. But this seems to be Hawk's plan, is to run that Queen with the Warden, have that double firepower in there, and then make his way into the center of this base. He does still have 16 rocket balloons. King is now in, and I think the plan is to push that Warden and Queen combination right into the middle.
Yeah, there's one more wall break. Is he going to use that now for his Queen push, or is it going to be used somewhere different? Because there's quite a few compartments still open, and those Tesla might mess up the wall break. Remember, wall break tries to target closed compartments, and it's actually going for the Archer Queen. The Archer Queen is destroying it, but the wall is open, but he still is having to take down the Town Hall, which it seems like the Royal Champion is supposed to do.
I was just thinking, what is his plan for the Town Hall? But the Royal Champion is going to throw Rocket Spears and that Seeking Shield. She will secure the Town Hall. It is taken care of, but the Queen is under a lot of fire on the bottom. Rocket Loons flying in, and Hawk is looking to soar through the skies with the triple for Stamina Esports.
Yeah, he is smiling. He knows, okay, this is a done deal. He's getting that 3-star in. The Town Hall has went down. The skip traps are popping up too late. But at this point, it feels like 3 stars is not what is needed anymore. They need quick 3 stars, and Midteam can decide the entire match with their next attack, and I believe it's Temper attacking last, and that will be just so much pressure on this player.
Yeah, I think Stamina kind of realized after those first 2 attacks, giving up 1 minute 40 seconds, that's going to be near impossible to come back from, especially in this meta. Previously, maybe we did see those 60-second attacks, but that's really tough to get anywhere close to that. So I think they're just sticking to their guns and hoping they can force that mistake from Millicene MG.
Yeah, forcing the mistake, trusting in their base building, which they have done a lot over the last couple of months, because they were trying to hide all of their hands. They were trying to make sure the other teams do not know anything about their strategies, anything about their bases. But it seems like so far, at least on the defensive side, it's not really paying off.
Yeah, but offensively, they're fine, so they're at least feeling good about their offensive. But Temper is going to be our next attacker, which, funny enough, Temper's parents are also here in the crowd as well. So a little fun little storyline there, maybe added pressure. Mom and Dad watching the son, getting ready to maybe secure this war. I shouldn't say secure this war. Maybe secure this war in the first victory for MMG.
Everything is on him. He's incredibly talented, has been participating in a lot of as well creative matches, and the question now is, what is he going to bring in this last deciding match? Let's find out.
Temper will be the final attacker. He can win the war right now. I believe any 3-star, almost any 3-star, will win this war for Millicene MG. They are such a time advantage. I don't have the exact number, but it is going to be Zap Lalo, a very traditional strategy, but something he is very well versed at.
He is an incredibly good Lalo player, and he's using the Angry Jelly on that Archer Queen to get her quicker into the base, into the part where he wants to take down those buildings. He's using the Lock Launcher as well, so we might see a really big push, but we have seen many times in the past. If using the Lock Launcher, something which can be tricky is the Town Hall takedown, because sometimes we have the Tornado Tribe close by, and that with Lalo is sometimes really devastating.
Yes, it can be a tough thing to overcome, but it does go ahead and zap out the multi-archer tower builder hut there. And usually when they zap in the middle of the base there, they're looking to connect the hero push to where they zapped out. Now the King is going to go ahead and work to the right side, and that log launcher is continue to push in. But look at this, that log launcher actually taking some damage from the Wizard Tower. Log launcher is not going to get as much value as he hoped for. It does not open up that Eagle compartment. That could play a factor a little bit later.
The Queen is supposed to go into this Expo compartment. The Yetis were supposed to go into the Inferno Tower compartment. The Yeti might take down the... No, the Bitter Huts are keeping the Inferno Tower alive. One Yeti is making it on its way towards the Inferno Tower. That thing has to go down.
Oh, yeah, he might slammed it, and it goes down. The Eagle will remain standing, but the multi-Inferno, is much more devastating. When you have balloons soaring through the skies, they can really get taken down in a hurry from a multi. Now the world champion will look to come in and clean up the Eagle artillery, that multi-arch tower, and that rage tower, and then that final multi-target Inferno. If he can get all the way through there, that will be massive value for these heroes.
I mean, take a look at what is alive at this point. It's like 2 merged cannons, it's 1 scatter, but except that, it's mostly single target, and then there's the Town Hall. That's it. So he has to make this push now work. And one thing you have to keep your eyes on, where is that tornado trap?
We have not seen the tornado yet. The Lalo is in charge of the rest of the base. Does have the Grand Warden. Will have Eternal Tome to protect. Ice Hound flying right over. Rage is in. There goes the Warden's Eternal Tome. There's the tornado, but the Town Hall gets destroyed. A few buildings remain, and Timper is going to secure the victory for Milliseam MG. They will take down their rivals at Stamina Esports in our first matchup.
He is here for a reason. He is here getting his team the victory with this last final attack, because even if Stamina Esports is going to triple at this stage, they're not going to have most likely that average time to win the match. Temper going in with a complete different strategy, one of the most high skill seeding strategy in the entire game. It is not an easy thing to do whatsoever, especially in hard mode. And he's getting the job done. Well done.
Such a beautiful attack. Mom and Dad have to be proud as their son secure the victory. What a beautiful attack in the toughest spot of the war. I would never want to be that 5th attacker in that situation. But Itsu, we could have something interesting. We could have our first double perfect of the entire tournament thus far.
It could happen. Yes, it could happen indeed, with the final attacker being now Flaxy on the Stamina Esports side as well. Their bases did not defend and what they were expecting. I think they were putting a lot of trust in their bases, just going in with this one strategy, and it wasn't the fastest one either. We have seen a similar approach yesterday from Synchronic, but they had a really fast strategy to put pressure on the other team. But I think we should watch the last attack from Flaxy.
Fluxy, the team captain of the Stamina Esports squad, coming in with the Rocket Loon attack, and it looks like that was their plan for the entire matchup throughout here. Such a polarizing figure in the Clash community as Fluxy, the team captain of the squad, looking to put a perfect war on. Even though they will lose this one on time, he still wants to put up a great performance for his squad and keep that morale very high.
That's right, making sure that they are going to the next match, because remember, this is a group stage, which means, well, 1 victory and you're really close of making to the next day. 2 victories and you're safe. But 1 loss does not mean that you're out of this whatsoever. And we have already predicted that this group is incredibly close. And I could see this being like a 1 win, 1 loss for every single team.
Yes.
But let's first concentrate on this attack as he's getting now into the interesting part with the fireball. Should be... No, wait, he used that already?
Not sure here, not sure, because he still has 3 Invis, still has Earthquake. I'm not sure. We were kind of talking there, focused on other things. Let's see what he does here, keeping the Warden alive with the Invis. He does have a lot of setup done. Keep an eye on this King and Queen. They can't get too close to the Warden or else they will pull him away. The Warden is charging him. Their King's getting dangerously close. Uh-oh, Itsu, the King pulls the Warden away. Oh no, that's what happened to Gaku yesterday. The heroes got too close and it pulled the Warden walk away.
This is the one thing you never want to see. The heroes being too close and the Warden just joining up with them. And the Town Hall now has to go down somehow. The Rocket Speeders are coming in, but are they enough to take that out? That is the big question now, Bash.
All right, here she goes. Rage is a beautiful Rage. I love that play. Rage on the Royal Champion to secure that Town Hall, adjusting on the fly, making it happen. Now some Rocket Loons deployed from the bottom, just because the Warden didn't give maybe what he was supposed to, or maybe that was part of the plan. We don't know, but it seemed like the Warden was intended for the Town Hall. He does adjust perfectly there, gets the Town Hall down, but there's still a lot of defenses on the back that these heroes have to fight through, and they don't have much health left.
And especially remember, this attack can be really important later on if our prediction is going to come true with 3 teams finishing with 1 win, 1 loss, because this means that we're going to the tiebreaker where the stars are an important factor. So somehow clutching this would be massive. He's now trying to take down the second layer of defense with the Moja Inferno Tower, things which hits Queen and the Warden cannot reach. The Queen are somehow trying to stay alive, but it's only 30 seconds at this point.
It is very, very tough. That multi-arch tower in there, if the Warden didn't get pulled, that would have been taken down from the Warden walk. Uses the rocket loons in there. Fluxy has everything in. He knows there's not much else he can do. He has the last minion deployed. 17 seconds, 16 seconds. We didn't talk about it much into, but if it does come down to that tiebreaker situation, it's average stars from the war, average percent, and then average time. So this is a big attack. He wants this 3-star. He needs this 3-star, but it is going to time out. It's a time fail for Fluxy.
It is a time fail indeed. He was not able to clutch it, but who are able to clutch it is Millicene MG. They're getting the job done. They're getting that victory in the first match, which I think for this group is just so important to set up the stage, set up the expectations for the other teams as well, because the other team in this group is Tribe Gaming. You don't want to go 0-1 in your first match.
Yeah, it is going to be very tough, and Stamina will now have to prepare as they will play Tribe Gaming in the third matches. One thing they do have working for them is they have this war off and they get their first look at Tribe. So they can kind of scout what is Tribe doing, what are they bringing to the table. Whereas if they had to play Tribe right now, it could be a little tough and they would have to bounce back. So if they do get that little bit of a break, I think that is a little bit of an advantage for them moving forward. But let's go ahead and head down to the stage. Banks has got an interview for us.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Great work so far in the caster booth. I've got Stamina Esports' very own captain. It is Fluxy with me. I mean, going into that final attack, I mean, we all kind of knew with the time situation going on, even if it was perfect, they'd have taken it. So going into that, did you kind of feel like your head was already gone in some ways, or were you still just, you know, obviously pushing for that triple?
Well, it's unfortunate. We expected a defense. It didn't come, but I'm sure we'll be ready for the next match.
So that was kind of the situation, right? You kind of expected to come in with a defense. That's why you were a bit slower and a bit more methodical with your guys' attacks. Was that the plan going into this?
That was the plan, but it didn't work out. But yeah, we'll see the next match.
We had a situation. Kingsman took his top off and showed you the back of his name. Has that kind of fueled the fire for the next match a little bit, or did you not pay attention?
I don't really care. I mean, it's a long tournament. We'll see what happens.
It is indeed a long tournament. Final question, you've got Tribe up next. What's your thoughts going into that? Are you going to kind of base it off of what you see in the next war, or are you just kind of already mentally prepared? You know what you're going to do going into it?
We know what we'll do. I don't think it'll change much.
A cool, calm, and collected Fluxy here on the main stage. Thanks so much for joining me in this interview, buddy. Really appreciate it. But for now, we're going to head back over to the casters to break down that war in a bit more detail.
Well, we had an interesting interview there. I am not sure if they're really going to not change anything. That might be like a little bit like mind game. I think this is where it already starts into the next matches, because those matches were incredible close. This match was incredible close because so many 3-stars. And this is what a lot of the pro players have expected and why they were bringing early on those quick attacks. We have seen it from Millicene right here on your screen. The first 2 attacks were really fast, and they were then confident with pushing into like more safer options later into the match. Most of those pros know a ton of different strategies and how to properly play them. And this was a big factor.
Yeah, and I think after those first 2 attacks, they built such a lead that they were kind of more comfortable to lean into those slower attacks. We started seeing that Warden Walk come out, which I think you consider one of the safest attack strategies when executed properly. So I think they played that one perfectly. That interview, very, very interesting. But we know Fluxy really just can't wait to get backstage and talk with this team. Are we going to adjust? Are we going to do the same thing? Do we have a base for Tribe? But I think the big thing for them is watching this next match. What is Tribe using? But at the same time, Tribe can elect to not give them too much by just playing a little bit safer, maybe using safer attack strategies against Millicene.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's overall a lot of options, and we have heard from different teams that they might have some strategies prepared, maybe some bases prepared, which the other teams have not seen before. And a lot of times, sometimes it's paying off. Like for Stamina Esports, it did not. I mean, It's no big secret. They were preparing a lot of bases. I think I have heard numbers flying around like 400 or something.
Yes.
So a lot of bases were prepared for that team. And in the end, it did not work out. And it was their game plan. You heard it from Fluxy. He said they were expecting at least 1 defense. And this is why they stick to their original plan with always going in okay, this is, in our opinion, the safest strategy in the game. That's why we're playing it. It's slower, but with predicting a defense, well, that's what we're counting on. A defense, slow attacks, 15 stars, safe win. Did not work out.
Yeah, and that's the way it goes sometimes, especially when you stick to that gameplay. I don't mind that, though. I like that they came out, they stuck to their guns. The defense does never come. Fluxy's aware of it. But ultimately, I think it was a good showing for them. Yes, they did have that time fail at the end. And maybe that plays a factor later if we do have that 1-1-1-1 situation, which I guess after this next war we'll have a kind of better idea. But let's take a look at our MVP of that matchup. It could have been anyone on the squad, but Kingsman does secure it with 27% of the vote, 20% for Tryhard, and Temper with 19%. I think you could have picked any attack throughout there.
Yeah, I feel like for me personally, Temper was just so clutch. I mean, if you have ever tried and attempted Lalo attacks in hard mode, you know how hard it is. So him pulling that off in such a moment was just super impressive. And I feel like Kingsman got this vote as well for his statement, for his reaction. I think that was just really amazing because we want to see those emotions on stage as well. Then obviously the reaction from the crowd in here, and that is always so electrifying. I mean, it's just nice.
Yeah. I think this is the first year we've ever had our players face-to-face like that. Usually they're kind of like off to the side facing the audience. I love that we have that face-to-face interaction, so we get stuff like that. There is a little bit of rivalry there. There is a little bit of okay, there's a lot. Let's be. Yeah, you're right. I'm downplaying a lot. But not only that, I mean, emotions do come up. Things do happen in the war. So seeing that and kind of having that direct interaction against your opponents, where we've seen in the past where it's like, hey, buddy, I'm over here. I 3-star. You know, I love that these players have that direct face-to-face, head-to-head interaction.
Yeah, I mean, we see that as well, like for other teams, like over the World Championship seasons, we have seen some teams really like going crazy on the stage. I think Tribe Gaming, the team which we'll see later today, might be a big advantage for them, like going into this, like having the energy, showing that off to the other team, because we don't know. Maybe it affected Fluxy a little bit. Maybe he deployed the heroes a couple of seconds too early because of what Kingsman did with his jersey just a couple of seconds before.
Yeah, and that emotion, I mean, not only the player emotion, but we've also heard in past the crowd emotion. The crowd can really get into it. It's been a little bit of a controversial thing, but me personally, I love it. After all, this is a live esports event. There's a reason we are here in Helsinki, Finland. We could be at home playing this, but that's not as fun. There's not as much emotion. There's not as much pressure. And that, for me, is what I absolutely love. Having those players' emotion, have the audience emotion, the reaction, the oohs, the ahs. It makes such an intense matchup for these players to have to deal with.
Yeah, it is for sure different, just being on the stage and not at home. I think that's always as well a fun thing, I guess, from the qualifiers, where every player has, I mean, the personal space where you like to attack. And I think everyone can relate to that. Playing on your desk, playing in your bed. We have seen the craziest positions where players liked to play, where it was as well like on holidays and stuff like that. It was as well something different to playing here on stage because the pressure is on.
Yeah, I definitely remember during SPS, Kingsman and Tryhard on vacation playing and winning the tournament. It was such a cool thing. So yes, you're out of your element here. You're here live in the studio. Speaking of live in the studio, Carbon Finn joining us here at the caster desk. Carbon, man, what an intense matchup there. What'd you think?
Oh, it was absolutely insane, especially the crowd sitting out there, seeing so many fans interact. And I've got an attack to break down here, but it's not going to be from the winning team. It's going to be from Ninja because of something Itsu pointed out was with the balloon. So let's go ahead and take a look at this attack. So this one involves the Warden with the Fireball to be able to get the value. So notice how he's going to help try to set up the base in 3 different lanes. But the big thing is going to be the balloons to pull the Warden, because there's a few times where the Warden has gone the wrong way or kind of assisted with the heroes because you don't pull him or he doesn't get too far away. This one, Ninja was able to keep him on his own lane, which would be down here. Then the Queen and King, they're going to be planned to move in and secure the Town Hall. So as with the Angry Jelly, the whole point is to be able to target defenses, and when you're able to use the invisibility spells, which will be 1 over here and 2 over here, the Fireball will be able to move directly in to hit this middle of the base of the multi, and including the clan castle. That is what you want to go for. So we'll take a look as the Warden will slowly, eventually
hit that Warden ability, and there we go. The Warden hits the core, but this is the important part. The balloons. Notice here, the balloons down here, the Warden starts following off to the right side, keeping clear of the Queen that's over to the left. The Queen and King are going to be moving together, and their objective is now to go into the Town Hall. He doesn't want the Warden to follow, because the Warden's job is to be able to help take out the monolith right over here. But what can you do in order to help distract this monolith is to be able to drop some skeleton spells out in front of it as this Queen and King path their way into the Town Hall. You can hit the King ability with the Earthquake boots to open up that value, and the Warden slowly making his way right on in towards his monolith, has to make him invisible there because it could be a little annoying if you're not able to keep him alive. And then of course the Royal Champion helps to take that down as well. But in this attack, it's all about getting down the lanes, and especially in this one, and a few of these players have been doing it, is sending that Warden all by himself to kind of do like an extra hero charge in a base, while the Queen doesn't need it, because notice the Queen, she's got healers of her own. So you don't need to be doing the Queen charge, Queen walk, because you have the healer puppet that is able to help assist the Queen as everything converges, and then the rocket loons come towards the backside to help finish it off. You can swap in also Super Barbarians, so that is why it's also a very versatile attack, but it is pretty difficult. There's a lot of multitasking. One mistake and everything can go south in that hit there.
Yeah, and I feel like it's as well those little things, like the balloons. Like you see, okay, the Warden is wandering off to the wrong side. He was reinforcing with the loons, and knowing those little interactions are really helping you to manipulate the pathing of those heroes, which can be such an important thing in this strategy, which I feel like is, to some degree, like the Lalo of Tano 16. Like it's a really, really complex strategy where you have to know a lot of interactions, and this was really shown in this stage, in this match of those two teams, and they were executing it perfectly. Only one fail, and that was at the end of the match.
And essentially a time fail, so ultimately it could have got there maybe with a few more seconds, but also like you got to remember those defenses dealing 5% more damage. Like there's so many factors here in the hard mode. We talked about the equipment. There's just so many things that play into everything of the matchup, but ultimately Milliceme were able to get that victory. But speaking of the victory, let's take a look at our caster predictions. How'd we do here, fellas? Itsu, you and I, we're looking good, pal. We're looking good.
Carbon, how are you doing?
Well, I got the first one wrong, indeed, but I did pick Milliceme in the second one, and then Tribe in the last, because I'm thinking it was going to come down to a 1-1-1.
Yeah.
And Jude and I talked about it in the audience there. Well, you know, maybe you just go for the perfect wars, not necessarily time, and you just hope that you get a defense, and then you can win on a tiebreaker in the end if it's all tied up at a 1 apiece.
Yeah, but I think we're just moving on as well with the bracket, because we have still more Clash to be played today. And as we already predicted and hopefully showcased with our predictions, this group is close. And the first match showcased that perfectly. Now our next match is going to be Milliceme, so they're going to be again on stage, but this time their opponent is going to be Tribe Gaming. And I feel like there's always something about Tribe Gaming in those World Championships where they're somehow able to clutch it out. They're showing up in those clutch moments, because I feel like if you're taking a look at the performance over the entire year, I feel like they are one of the biggest, well, underdogs, I guess, because they were not performing on the same level as some of the other teams. And that is as well like a big deal in the history as well with Tribe. But they're able to show up and like turn things up when it matters.
And I'm sure we'll talk about Tribe season because it's been up and down. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to throw over to Banks. He's got an interview for us.
Yes, I do indeed. Thank you so much, boys. Great work up there in the caster booth. And Carbon Finn, what a fantastic telestration that was. But they are not the only talent in the building, because we've got talent right here who are casting, hosting, and representing their community right here at Superfest. We have a ton of local language casters who are working here. Right behind me, you can see a bunch of languages. And I've got a man who is joining me right now, who is no stranger to Clash of Clans Esports, all the way from Brazil. I've got Marinol here with me. How are you doing, Marinol? Are you well?
Very well, thank you.
Good, good. What's been your favorite thing that you have experienced so far at Superfest?
To see the Brazilian players and casters. Our country is very large, so we don't see each other very much.
Well, let's talk about the World Finals, okay? Let's talk about the tournament here. We we've kind of anticipated, because of the introduction of hard mode, and then hard mode was made even harder, we're not really sure if we're going to get a perfect war yet. We so nearly just had it with Millésime versus STMN. Do you think it's likely that we'll get one?
Yeah, it's very likely. It will be a surprise for me to not see a perfect war.
It'll be a surprise, but you know what? I think it might be likely as well. We're getting ever so closer in every war. Now, do you have a particular team that you're looking out for or that you're thinking that might take the championship at the end of this?
I think Synchronic Gaming, they are playing very well and they have very good bases also.
A strong team, good bases. This is the thing that we need to emphasize. The base builders, the unsung heroes of this tournament as well. Now, we've got to talk about these language streams. We have so many here, so many languages on site. Is it an incredible thing to be a part of? And who have you been excited to meet from the local language casters?
Yeah, I'm very excited to meet Bruna because I don't see her that much, and it's very good for me.
A patriotic man. I like that, Marinol. Thank you so much for joining me in this interview. Oh, we're going to awkward spud it. Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Go back into your caster stream. An absolutely fantastic job so far. We can't wait to see more of Marinol as well. But for now, we're going to head over to Judo Sloth because he's got an interview of his own.
It is great to see so many creators here at Superfest, and I am joined by Clash Ninja. I have to ask first, what was your thoughts when walking in?
Thanks, Judo. Absolutely awesome to be here in Helsinki, the home of Supercell, and walking into the arena. It's amazing, blown me away. So good to see.
It is incredible. Now, you're someone that helps the community through the creation of tools. Are you able to give us a few examples?
Sure, that's right. There's a variety of tools out there to help enhance people's gameplay. I build the Clash Ninja website, which lets people track their progress, see what upgrades are remaining, and see how long until they max out their village. Another example is the clashofstats.com website, where you can see the history of lots of villages. Another tool out there is the Clash King Discord bot and app, where you can see your Legend League performance and numerous other stats. And finally, there's the Competitive Clash Network, where you can see the stats of all the teams and pro players like we've seen here today, so you can see how good they really are.
Yeah, it's really helpful in a variety of areas of the game as well. You touched upon a little bit in the pro scene. Many of the tools are the collection of stats, which specifically helps with base building. Are you able to talk into that a little bit?
Sure, yeah. Statistical analysis can be valuable for the competitive teams. When you're studying your opponent and you can see that they favour certain attacking styles, when you're base building, you can design your bases to try and bait those types of attack styles to give you that invaluable defence.
Yeah, it's super interesting, and we've seen that from Synchronic as well yesterday against M.T.F.Y, baiting the Electro Dragons a little bit there. Now, before I let you go, we have to get a championship prediction. Who do you think is going to take it all?
It is so close this year. I thought Navi's experience was going to carry them yesterday, but a bit of an upset there. Synchronic looking good, so I think I'm going to have to go with them.
They certainly are looking good. We can hear them in the crowd. We've got all of the support, but we're almost ready to get into the next match. So let's throw you back to the casters, Carbon and Bash.
Thank you so much, Judo. What a great interview there with Ninja. Love that guy. Such an amazing tool that he's built. But Carbon, let's go ahead and let's start setting up our next matchup here. We just saw Millésime MG. We're going to see our final team here in the World Championships, Tribe Gaming, for the first time as they square off.
Yeah, Tribe was the very last team to be able to get that golden ticket in the last chance qualifier. But it wasn't just in the last chance qualifier. They had to get a silver ticket to even compete at that opportunity. And what a roller coaster was that match. They were sent down to the lower bracket, coming back, forcing a bracket reset against the defending world champions, who weren't able to be here either, because that is how tough this was. The competition is fierce, but these teams are getting ready. And it's crazy to think we haven't even seen Tribe yet all weekend, and now it's their time.
Yeah, they have to step up here on the big stage. It's been a bit of an up and down roller coaster year for them. Their silver ticket was the second from last chance to even earn a silver ticket, excuse me. So a lot of people were thinking, is Tribe even going to make it to Worlds? And they finally were able to clutch it up there in that LCQ against the world champions, which, I mean, I think we would all hoped they would be here too, but ultimately only one of those two teams made it, and Tribe was able to edge them out. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit more as we kind of get going here.
Absolutely. We will talk about the storylines and everything involved. And of course, these teams have so much experience. But to be honest, they talked about their experience this year, and it's actually been a lot less because of the meta. Since the meta was completely different this year, it was really hard for these teams to face off. Normally, these teams tend to face off 10, 11, 12 times a year. This time, it's probably about maybe 2, 3 times, or even not that, because these teams would always make it to the end of tournaments. That's when they would face each other in the semis and the grand finals. But in this case, since the meta was completely different, it was open to everybody, and everybody was able to bring those attacks up, and they were getting knocked out of single eliminations.
It's almost been a tale of two seasons where throughout the qualifiers we had what we were calling the speed meta, where you had to go fast. You had to get that 60, 70, 80 second attack. And then we had the balance to hard mode, and now tournaments being played in hard mode, and now things are much more challenging, and you don't get as much of those matchups. But Carbon, I think we're ready. Banks, give us our teams, buddy.
That is right, Carbon and Bash, thank you so much. And yes, our next war might just pop off. It's gonna be so unbelievable, I cannot wait for it. They are our first team to take to the main stage, fresh off a victory against Stamina Esports. Their blood must be pumping, and they are ready and raring to go. So join us on the stage for Kingsman, Temper, Tryhard, Nachoa, and Max. They are Midasim MG. Their opponents, Exorcist, Kronos, Yo-Yo23, Rakires, and Nabrax. They are Tribe Gaming!
This match might be one of the loudest we will have in this arena so far. We have fans from both sides, and they are gonna get loud. These teams, I remember them facing off back in the June qualifier when MMG was able to complete. They sent Tribe down to the lower bracket in the upper finals, just before the grand finals there, and it was a 15-14 war there, where Exorcist, unfortunately, was not able to come through in his attack. And you know, he was thinking of that moment, and he wants to come back from it. But of course, Midasim MG, they already have one victory under their belt here today, with the leadership of their captain, Kingsman, Temper, Tryhard, Nachoa, and Max. What a stellar lineup we have.
Yeah, we just saw them play and put up a perfect war, Carbon Fan. They have adjusted to the hard mode. We were talking about how all of these teams kind of have their go-to strategy. For them, it seemed to be the Root Riders with 2 overgrowths. A little bit of an interesting take on that, but also at the same time, they were able to adjust and move into that more secure war to walk into the Super Barbarians and secure that perfect war. But their opponents, Tribe Gaming, been a roller coaster of a year for them. And what you said with Exorcist missing, it was kind of the story of their whole season. They were so close so many times. Exorcist, Kronos, Yo-Yo23, Rakires, Nabrax, these guys have been playing together year over year, and they have to be such a uniform team. They know the ins and outs. They know what the other player is going to do. They know how this team functions. There has to be just such a good level of trust there.
There has to be, and there was one point where we talked about Tribe thought they weren't going to be making it here, but they were. They are able to be here now, and that's all that matters. This is their very first match this weekend, and it's crazy that even before Tribe's playing, we've already sent home Na'Vi, who is one of the most fan-favorite teams in Clash Esports. But look at these predictions. 66% of the community is picking Tribe to win this match here, which means that it's going to be an amazing match nonetheless, as we're going to start it off with Rakires. He wants to come in with the very first attack, and Rakires actually just finished his master's degree in programming to 2 months ago. So coming straight off of that, he is ready to go here in the World Finals. You know, he's calculating everything. He wants to bring it for us. And you know, he's one of the best Lalo attackers in the world.
Not only one of the best Lalo attackers in the world, but one of the most consistent players in the world. First time we see Tribe, let's see what they're bringing to the table.
And Rikirez is ready to go. Wants to start off with that 3-star, set the tone for their team. And as always, it's amazing to be able to see these players live and their reactions. Tribe has one of the craziest reactions you're gonna see here, but indeed, it is gonna be a Lalo, but only one healer selected in this attack here. And there's gonna be the lightning spells right off the bat. Maybe a giant arrow right through the middle of the base. And yes, grabs both spell towers and inferno towers.
The precision on that attack is so difficult to get down. We've seen multiple players try that and miss. All you have to do is be off by not even a full tile, a quarter of a tile, and that Queen's arrow will fly and miss. But that Queen lands right in there. King already in with the spiky ball and earthquake boots, opening up access to the town hall. This attack is under a beautiful start. He's not wasting any time, Carbon. The Lalo's already starting from the top.
And with that Warden, Eternal Tome protects that blimp flying across. There was the red air bomb field up top, but that didn't really do anything to this attack as the blimp now lands onto the town hall. It's going to go down to the Yetis, no problem here. Royal Champ already burns her ability, but notice this base is going down quick. It's not a slow attack. Typically, Lalo takes quite a bit there, as it's looking really good here. And look, it's only been 60 seconds, and this base is pretty much gone.
Rikirez flying through the base. I think Tribe may have watched that last match and realized, hey, against this Millicene squad, we're going to have to be quick. This attack is just over a minute, and Rikirez gets it done. A beautifully executed, no hesitation attack. A minute 13 or 14 right there, Carbon. Such a fast pace. That's our fastest attack of the day.
It might be the fastest attack of the weekend as well. That was incredible there. And to think that this is hard mode as well, Rikirez gets it done. And Rikirez, well done. And an impressive attack there. Both his parents are supporting him, but he did say that his mom is too nervous to be watching him attack. She has to ask his dad, how did it go? Because she just can't take it. The nerves, but he delivers it right there, gets it done, and lines up that arrow.
Oh, that was so
with
good.
The Infernos, the spell towers, both poison spell towers going down. That's incredible value. And then speed. This can play a huge role. Now, strategy-wise, do you try to send 1 to 2 players to be fast and the rest of them to be safer 3-stars? And if you're on the other team with Millicene MG, what do you do now?
Well, Carbon, something we didn't really talk about here, it almost feels, to me personally anyways, Tribe have a little bit of advantage. They're the very last team to play in this tournament. Yeah. So they've already seen every single other team, and they can kind of game plan for that. I'm sure when they saw Millicene come out with those 2 quick attacks, I'm sure they had a couple ideas for this war. I'm sure they're like, let's go quick, boys. We got to get it in. And we kind of saw that with that attack. He didn't hesitate with any portion. Queen was in. King was in. Royal Champion to take down the Town Hall. Lalo immediately starting from the top. But we're going to have Kingsman actually moving into that first position in this war to attack Yo-Yo's base next.
Kingsman, the captain of Millicene MG. You saw his reaction from the very first match, taking that jersey off, showing Astanima Esports, but he's locked in here, and he is going to be ready for this next attack. So let's see what Kingsman has got for us.
Here we go. MMG looking to keep the momentum flowing for this squad. They had such a convincing war in that war 1 against Stamina Esports. Now up against Tribe Gaming, a completely different foe. And we see a bit of a shift. We saw them using this a little bit in the last war where we had the essentially Warden walk into Super Barbarians. But the problem with this is they were a little bit slower with this attack. Kingsman in that first war used this attack, but it was 2 minutes, 11 seconds. If he does that, they're almost a minute behind.
Kingsman has actually increased his 3-star rate from when the update from the hard mode. Before in the original hard mode, he was a 73% 3-star rate. but in the newest hard mode, he's 84, so he's quite a bit improved. He's really been putting in that practice, and it's been showing with Super Barbarians, 17 of them, and we're gonna see this Warden take his time. You wanna make sure that the Warden probably stays on the edge, going his direction so that you don't, well, you could pull him, but time can be a question in that.
Yeah, here comes that fireball. Invis are in, takes out the invisibility tower, weakens up the monolith, takes down the monolith and the clan castle. Now the Warden can actually come over and take out the town hall, but he's in danger. He's got to get that town hall quick. Carbon, this Warden is in danger of getting taken out. Beautiful Invis.
Wow.
The adjust on the fly, and the Warden will secure the town hall. That was a little bit dangerous.
That was close. The spotting could have played a huge role right there to make sure that he doesn't focus away from that Warden, because the town hall must go down as the king is coming to the left side into the Inferno Tower. We do have the queen continue her way through, but the Royal Champion yet to be deployed. She can come on her own. Typically, the Rocket Spear is a fantastic ability to get incredible value as the queen's ability now just goes off to the left.
Those few balloons up top were actually more clutch than I think a lot of people realize, because they took down that defense, which allowed the queen to join the king and did not pull that Warden away, so that Warden can continue his pathing through the middle of the base. The Royal Champion now on the right side. Everything's going to converge at that bottom portion, and this is looking very strong for Kingsman. However, much slower than Tribe's first attack.
Yeah, so Focus just getting on the 3 stars at the moment here, continuing his way through. He likes it. It's going to be a 3-star to start off for Millicene MG. He wants to stay calm because there's a lot more attacks to come in for this match. All you got to do is try to hope for a defense. That's what Stanima Esports were hoping for, but they didn't get it against a team like Millicene MG. So let's see if one of these will be able to, or will it be our first perfect?
I don't think we're going to see as much player emotion in this one. I think we're going to see the audience emotion.
Yes.
Millicene has a huge presence here, as we saw there from that camera shot, but also Tribe. There's a little bit of mixed reactions at the crowd there, so I think this one's going to be more about the audience interaction, but Kingsman does a great job here. I love that play. The Invis there, realizing that Warden was going to get taken out, maybe not secure the Town Hall, but not even if the Warden doesn't get the Town Hall there. If the Warden's not able to continue pushing through, that is a huge problem. Minute 59, so not too much slower, 45 seconds, but still quite a bit slower than Tribe.
I mean, his average for the newest hard mode is 2 minutes 13, so that's an improvement from his typical average in the current hard mode meta. So great job there for Kingsman, but we saw Rikirez really step it up in his attack to set the tone for Tribe Gaming. So the next attacker that we're going to have is going to be none other than Nebrax. And Nebrax is known to be an air attacker. He loves to bring the E-Dragons, the regular dragons. But will he bring that here? And Nebrax has just obtained his master's degree in finance. So is he going to be able to put his smarts to the test against the space? So let's see what you got, Nebrax.
Does Nebrax go fast? Does he go to the skies? We are going to find out any second now as the attack is in, and Nebrax coming in with another Lalo, more zaps, more earthquakes, another giant arrow for this queen. Tribe have found something they like with this attack, and he's going to look to pierce through the center of this base.
Yeah, it looks like they may just be continuing with the same attack, at least for the first two, because it can be very fast. As we got lightnings on one Inferno. We got the Queen with her arrow, flies across. It does take out the Inferno, but the other Inferno on the other side still stands. He doesn't have the lightnings to deal with, but the spell tower is still standing there, Bash.
Does get some healing from that battle builder, and that's one thing that is tough to take a factor in. How much healing will that spell tower get? I think he was intending on that going down. However, it's not the end of the world. I think the big thing there is getting that multi down. I talked about it earlier, where those multi-infernos, excuse me, can really deal damage to balloons flying through the middle of the base.
Yeah, the king unfortunately is going to get stalled up by the ice golems at least, so this monolith is not going to be going down. Well, the queen, she's on her own to the bottom side. We do have the healers on her, and here comes the balloons. With the Grand Warden, we have the blimp flying across to go for this Town Hall, pops that early Warden ability, and most likely we're going to see probably Yetis coming out in that blimp to help secure the Town Hall.
Yeah, just that. Yeti's raged up. They'll take down the Town Hall. They'll be able to work down through the bottom. maybe even get some damage onto that Inferno and the Expos, get that Inferno down. Now the World Champion joining the party from the top side of the base. The balloons soaring in here, but they're taking quite a bit of damage after that Hound pops. But if the World Champion can get this multi-archer tower down, that will be huge. Inferno beams, check that out, Carbon. The Infernos play a huge factor in these Lalo attacks.
He is continuing his way into the core of this base. The Queen did go down. He's trying to make it to the multi,
no.
but the Monolith stands up here, and Nachoa might just be able to get this defense. The balloons are gone, and Nebrax, unfortunately, wait a sec, still has the RC.
Tank.
The healers are, wait. The Monolith needs to stay distracted, still has the Spirit Fox alive.
The healers were tanking. They got in front of the World Champion. If she can get this down, Carbon, this could have been a defense, but it's going to instead be a 3-star. Wait.
Warden.
No, Warden's on air.
Wow.
He's got it. Wow, what a recovery from Nebrex. Healers are the MVP. That Royal Champion was so close to going down, but the healers step in and take the shot from the Monolith. A little bit of a lucky play there, but it's ultimately a 3-star for Nebrex.
So I was just going to say, Nebrax's hit rate in the original hard mode was 86%, but in the most recent update in hard mode, his hit rate dropped down to 67%, and he was able to just edge that one out with a 2-minute and 4-second triple. That's all that matters. Your hit rates, yes, it can play a role, but getting the 3-star is what matters now, and Nebrax does just that. Takes a deep breath because at one point he thought it might have failed. And you know, against a team like Milsim, if you don't perfect, they may just do that and you don't have a chance to win.
I honestly thought it was going to fail, Carbon, but those healers got in the perfect position. But with Rakiris' quick attack, they actually have a little bit of wiggle room on time. Yes, that was slower than Kingsman attack, but at the same time, Rakiris went so fast that shouldn't matter. We saw Max go first in the last war, Max stepping into that second position. Such a consistent attacker, new to the team, and he's looking to keep his team alive in this one as we take a look at his parents. Look at that. Max attack, 3 stars, dad showing the support. You gotta love that, Carbon.
Yeah, Max is a second-year college student studying aerospace engineering. Wow. You know he's got the smarts, so let's see him bring it in this next attack.
Our Clash of Clans esports players, well-versed, well-educated, and Max is flying in with Aurora, I guess not flying in. He is trouncing through the base with a Root Rider double overgrowth attack. We saw him use this in the first war very successfully. Minute 43 on that 3-star. Let's see if he can replicate it.
Yeah, with that Queen behind the Ice Golem and the King going in this compartment, we do have 2 overgrowths to be deployed. And this is a safer overgrowth type of attack, because when you only bring 1, we've seen many 1-stars result from that. So let's see him utilize the overgrowth properly, continuing his way around, as this can help his speed as well. It has been quick, especially in the previous meta, as we are pushing the Root Rise down to the bottom side with some Druid assistance, but this King and Queen are going to push into the Ricochet Cannon and luring out this Clan Castle.
Root Riders trampling and trouncing right on through on their way to the Eagle Artillery, uses the overgrowth to go ahead and take some of that damage off the Archer Queen. Now those Ice Golems holding things up. Great freeze there on the Ricochet Cannon so that the Queen didn't get take it down too low. But the issue here is those Ice Golems freeze things up. Queen needs to get the Ricochet Cannon. Things are fading here. This is looking a little risky.
Oh, he's continuing to push through here. The Queen is gone. There is the next overgrowth. Does clip the Monolith and the Town Hall together, but he rages leading into the core of the space. The World Champion still has ability. 1 rage and a freeze still left, but the Town Hall remains. Not too many troops left into the core, but does have the assistance of this Grand Warden.
Max has to push through here. The back end of this base, not only is the Town Hall there, but the Monolith, the enemy king. This could be very, very tough for him to get through, as he does not have many troops left. The most important thing is get this Town Hall, run up the percent. Carbon, this is going to be our first defense of the match, as Max falls short against Rakiris' base, and Tribe Gaming look to push into the advantage.
And that is a huge defense for Tribe Gaming. That's what Stanima Esports were hoping for to try to get against Milsim MG. So now Tribe, with the defense, they can try to get 15 stars. It doesn't matter about time. You can just play it safe. And the question is, for all these players did they have a backup strategy that is a safer 3-star versus trying to be a little bit more efficient?
The crowd has gone insane here for Tribe. Tribe presence is strong as these final few troops trying to do anything, but they will not. And it's going to be an 85% 2-star for Max. So unfortunate, just ran out of gas there in the middle. I think the main thing there was the ice golems on the Queen. She wasn't able to get that ricochet cannon and stay alive. She had healers, but that ricochet cannon was able to take her down because she was targeting all those ice golems.
But now Tribe has to take advantage of this opportunity. Anything can happen with one fail. If it comes in below an 85%, then Millicene MG will be back in the lead. It was tied. All 3 stars apiece. That's what was coming in so far. So now, Tribe, can you continue to keep up the momentum, get the 3 stars that you've been delivering so far? Hebrax's attack was keeping us on the edge of our seat as the next attacker, Bash, is Exorcist. And there's a running joke in Tribe with Exorcist that he's always on vacation because he's been to 30 different countries.
Wow.
And he can speak 4 languages: German, English, Spanish, and he's learning Portuguese. So Exorcist, I think he's ready to go, probably.
Carbon, I can barely speak English. This man's out here speaking 4 languages. Exorcist can push the lead here with this next attack.
And Exorcist is up, and it was him that unfortunately was not able to get the 3-star when they met in the qualifier back in June, where Millicene MG sent Tribe down to the lower brackets.
Carbon,
Here
look
we
at
go.
this.
Invis.
Whoa!
Oh my goodness. Wow!
Giant arrow! Oh, he misses the giant arrow!
Oh, the Town Hall stays up, but oh my, look. When you drop that many invis, you don't have that much time, but he still managed to hit that Warden ability so quickly.
Yeah, but the Queen was supposed to hit that giant arrow through the Town Hall to finish it off, and he did not get that. Very precise on those invis, but when you're doing all that, it's so hard to get that Queen angle just right. It is not the end of the world. He could still be fine, but that Town Hall is healing. That Town Hall is recovering as the Battle Builder is right on top of it.
Yeah, with... Oh, the spiky ball! What a spiky ball connection! Taking that Town Hall down. That was fantastic. As Rocket Loon's going into the Monolith, takes that down. Royal Champion's moving through. He drops some freeze, and he's got more balloons. And Exorcist, get ready for the reaction.
Tribe have came to play here as Exorcist burns down Max's base.
Yeah.
And a minute and 10 seconds here. Exorcist, one of the more animated players for Tribe Gaming. You know that's got to feel good, especially after the miss on that giant arrow.
Wow, what a spiky ball we saw. And you remember, it goes to the closest building, not defense. So it's got to line up that shot, moving through the base, and it connected with the Town Hall. Sometimes, you know, you got to be lucky, but this one, probably on the fly, was thinking, okay, where's the spiky ball going to go? But still, there's so much nerves, and there it is, the Queen just off with that arrow, and a mistake like that can cost you the attack, but he still takes that down.
Carbon, I know time's probably not going to matter as much in this war now after the fail, but that was actually tied for our fastest attack.
Wow.
With Tribe's other attack. Tribe are coming out and they are cooking. They are not wasting any time. I think Tribe's plan here was laser focused speed and precision. We see that so far.
Incredible job right there. Tribe keeping up the momentum. 3 stars coming in, but now it is Nachoa's turn. He just graduated with an engineering degree in construction, and he's looking to do a career-wise to get into building bridges. So let's see if he's going to be able to help the base building of MMG, even though he is now going to be the next attacker ready. So Nachoa, good luck.
Let's see if Nachoa can build a bridge and get over this deficit. If Millicene MG have found themselves trailing against Tribe Gaming, it is going to be the Super Barbarians. One final hand wipe. I think I need to utilize that. Half the time I'm all over the place. One final hand wipe to make sure that you're swiping and pressing and hitting the right areas of the screen. But this attack has worked out very well for the squad so far. Let's see if Nachoa can get yet another 3-star.
Yeah, with the Warden now down to the left side, we have the Flame Flanger going to move through. You got to keep your eye on that ground Expo. because if it locks onto the Flame Flanger, that's a big problem. So the Warden is over here to tank exactly that. Fantastic job. While the Owl's trying to help us, as the Warden does have to invest that Rage, because, well, you would have lost that Warden and forced the ability because you want to use the Fireball into the core.
This is the exact same strategy he used against Stamina Esports. He was rewarded with the 3-star. Remember, Milliceme MG did go perfect. One thing I do want to point out here, even if Tribe are able to hold this lead, that does not mean Milliceme will be eliminated. It is a group stage. Tribe, ooh, Fireball lands. Ooh, I was wondering if that Clan Castle was going down. It barely goes down there. But Tribe will play Stamina Esports next, and really, Tribe could help out Milliceme. If they win here and then they do win the next match, that would mean Milliceme would actually advance with the 1-run record at Stamina 0-2. However, if Tribe win this, lose the next one, then we have a 1-1 group, Carbon, and we'll have to talk about all those tiebreakers.
And if that happens, all my predictions would have been wrong, even
Shambles.
though I predicted 1-1-1, but it would have been the reverse of every single one of the matches. But let's see as Nachoa is now pushing in with the rest of this attack as Super Barb's coming down a Skeleton Spell out in front of this Grand Warden, so he can continue his way safely in towards the Monolith. More Super Barbs to help funnel him in through the top side. Oh, the Warden, oh, he stayed alive, did have to invest that Rage as the heroes, King and Queen, are pushing into the right side.
I think that's one of the most impressive things that all of these players have been able to do with this attack, is know when that Warden needs a Rage. Warden is still being hit by that Monolith. He may have to invest another spell here to make sure that the Warden can get through that Monolith and then hop over to the Eagle Artillery. Warden looks actually fine. It's only the Monolith on him, so he will be good there. But the Town Hall has not been destroyed yet as the World Champion's being deployed from the bottom. Rages her up, throws that Rocket Spear. She should have no issues getting over and taking out that Town Hall.
And this Rage of RC is getting fantastic value, including the Town Hall. Some ground skeletons coming over at the last minute, but that Rocket Spear snipes the Town Hall as he continues his way around with a couple Super Barbs left, a freeze and an invis, but the RC has gone down. He needs to continue down to the bottom side where we have the Ground Expo, 3 Teslas, and some Wizard Towers. So the question is about time. Can he continue while the Warden is going to take the Expo? He's got to continue his way in.
I was keeping an eye on that storage in the middle, but the Phoenix picks that up. That could have been devastating. Time is a big factor here. 17 seconds remain. He's got a few troops to deploy. Get him in, Nachoa. Queen is working. Warden is working. It is 10 seconds remaining. 10% of the base yet to be destroyed. Can Nachoa get the 3-star? Will it be a second defense for Tribe Gaming?
Wow, that's now 2 defenses for Tribe Gaming. And now this can really play a role if it's an all 1-1-1, because that means that would be a 13-star performance. And if Stanima get a perfect answer, then they would be above Milliceme MG when it comes down to the tiebreaker. So every single match here today is going to play a role on who makes it to tomorrow, which then that is only a single elimination at that point.
Yeah, you can't give up on the war. You have to keep going, because one of our tiebreakers, the first tiebreaker, is average stars throughout the war, which is essentially total stars divided by 2. So we will see this play in. They have now lost 2 defenses right there, and that is huge. On the counter to that, Tribe, no, they can kind of cruise here. But on the same thing, Tribe does still want to go for that perfect war, just in case they lose the Stamina. They don't want to be up behind MMG or Stamina on stars, so this could be a very interesting group playing out here.
And Kronos, the captain of Tribe Gaming, he is the one that is going to be leading the charge here. So let's see if the captain has what it takes.
Will we be shouting Tribe wins? It feels that way. Carbon, we see Super Witches. I don't think we've seen any Super Witches, or very few Super Witches. For me personally, I feel this is a very consistent, strong strategy, but the players have kind of shifted over to the Warden walk into the Queen and King dive, which has been very strong as well. But I think the Super Witches, if you can get that healer swap over to the Witches, they just don't get taken out. Remember, they spawn those big boys, which are very, very beefy.
They are tanky indeed, as this Warden is continuing his push towards the top side. There is a lot of earthquakes. Monolith is taken out.
Nice
and do we have an arrow? Yes! Nice. The arrow also snipes the Town Hall from that Queen.
Great precision from Kronos. Lands the fireball right before the Town Hall. Queen comes in, pierces through the middle of the base, and the Town Hall's down. Now it's all on these witches, and the Howland King joins the party. The beautiful collab we had earlier this year. Everything should have a great path through the middle of the space. He did a great job setting up the pathing, set up the funneling. Royal Champion is over on that left side, just in case you didn't see her deployed over there. She has the Spirit Fox, which will help protect her, along with all of these P.E.K.K.A.s and everything coming out of that Siege Barracks.
And now that Warden Eternal, well, the Warden Eternal Tome was used for the Fireball there, but he's continuing this push through these Ice Golems, slowed down a little bit, but we do have the Valks now coming to the bottom side to join in with the P.E.K.K.A, making through. And there's the Spiky Ball from the King, opening up all these walls with the Earthquake Boots. 1 Baby Dragon and 3 Freezes still left, as the RC still hasn't burned her ability, just now uses it.
The Earthquake Boots give access to that bottom compartment where the Teslas were hidden in there, along with the multi-archer tower can be reached from there from the Queen. So this is actually a very nice Earthquake Boots. There is that Ricochet Cannon on the back, which those can be very, very devastating. We see them dealing some damage. He might lose a Super Witch right here. Yes, he loses 1 Super Witch. The second Super Witch may go down. This could fade a little bit here, as that Ricochet Cannon is doing a lot of damage, a lot of work being done.
Yeah.
The Queen is going to go down here, right? No, yes! Queen goes down. Can the Royal Champion finish this one off, Carbon?
It's up to the healers, but unfortunately they go and get stuck on the big boy, not transitioning to the Royal Champion unless the Bear, yes, gets out in front of the Ricochet Cannon. The RC goes down. The Wizard does secure the Wizard Tower, I think that was there, but now we need to take out the Ricochet Cannon. Can the Wizard do it? I don't think he can.
It's going to be a defense for MMG.
Wow.
The big boy's going to get stuck on the wall. Krona still feeling good. Carbon, MMG are still alive in this one. Another big defense, and they can be right back. The one issue that MMG are going to have to deal with is their fails. Max had an 85%, Nachoa with a 95%. This is a 98. So if they get, wait, it could actually be a 99. If they do get one more defense, it has to be something huge. It is finally a 98% on the Super Witches.
So the final attacker that's going to be for Tribe Gaming is going to be Yo-Yo. And unfortunately, it's kind of similar to Nebrax. Yo-Yo's hit rate in the original hard mode was an 86% 3-star rate, but now in the updated hard mode, it's a 67% 3-star rate. So that's going to be the final attacker for Tribe. So the pressure is on, and he's going to have to step up. We know Yo-Yo is an incredible attacker, but with the recent changes, everything is now different.
So you're saying there's a chance, Carbon Fend.
Yes.
If Milla's team can get the 3-star, Yo-Yo, I don't want to say struggling, but the hit rate down a little bit with the hard mode changes. Tryhard and Temper could secure this victory for MMG. Okay, let's set the stage here. Tryhard, don't give up just yet, buddy. Go in with the 3-star. Not that any of these players are going to give up. That's foolish to say, but you know what I mean here. You still would have finished strong, but you have to get some 3-stars. Tryhard, can you carry your team to the victory?
Tryhard has so much experience playing on the big stage. He's been playing for so many years, and he's going to utilize that experience here in this attack with Super Witches. We just saw Kronos' attack unfortunately fall a little bit short. We do find some spring traps on the bottom side by that arch tower. That's why it's off against the wall, not all the way across, so you can fit some traps in there. But we do see now the Grand Warden up to the top side. So he's going to work through there, while the Flame Flinger looks to be on the complete opposite side. But we do have a Ground Expo near the Grand Warden altar to the bottom. And he does go with an early Fireball and not wasting any time.
A lot of time with the Super Witches, that Fireball is there just to set up the funnel, set up the pathing, and he does that beautifully here. And now that the Flinger, can work from the bottom side, while all the heroes and everything converge to the middle of that base. The Flinger may not get as much as it steps up and that Expo locks on, but it is doing its job in setting up the stage for these heroes to surge through the back of the base. They're all moving into the middle. He does have a jump spell. Let's see if Tryhard's Witches can get through this base of Kronos.
With Ice Golems coming out to defend, he will get slowed down, but still has that King ability to get some fantastic value in the core and really clear things up and damage it, as the Queen is walking on the outside. Totally safe so far. May have to invest a few invis or even pop that Queen ability as he approaches that Monolith. But the Royal Champion has now been invested as a single target Inferno. Looked like it locked onto that King there. No, it was just the big boy.
All right, Witches are going to come over, take down the Town Hall. Earthquake Boots, Spiky Ball combination. Beautiful invis. Town Hall does fall, and this base is looking destroyed. Queen goes to ability, Magic Mirror. That means we have 3 Queens on the board. She gets cloned up twice, but also those healers are very, very nice. And their main Queen is being healed back up. Monolith is going down. World Champion throwing those rocket spears. Super Witches are going to finish off this base, and it is going to be the much-needed 3-star for Tryhard and Milliseam MG. A very nice attack. 3-star with the Super Witches.
Which means now if Yo-Yo gets that triple, they will win no matter what. Milliseam MG must get a defense against Tribe in order to have a chance at winning this match. This is Milliseam's last match here today. So if they lose, then it's going to come down to the final match, which will determine the 2 teams that will advance. We still won't know because we'll have to be playing out all the scenarios because the stars really play a role. You want to get every single triple as much as you can, but Yo-Yo, he's going to be up next. The pressure is on.
Now, Carbon, in the past, I've had some issues with math. We have bashed math. However, if my calculations are correct, if Yo-Yo can get an 82%, that's for the tie, but an 83% 2-star will secure the victory for Tribe. So it's not as daunting of a task for him, even though that hit rate is a little bit lower. It is it's not that tough of a thing. Like, it's not like a crazy, he needs a 99%.
Exactly. But you still want that triple though, because it can play a role if it comes down to a tiebreaker scenario. That extra star plays a huge role when it comes down to that. You want to have that advantage to be able to advance to Sunday. So the pressure is on Yo-Yo. He's already a previous world champion, and he wants to try to win a second one because no one in Clash Esports has ever won 2 world championships. And it's about to find out. We got plenty to go, so good luck. Let's see what Yo-Yo's got.
The final attack for Tribe Gaming. Will Yo-Yo secure the victory? Will Milliseam MG hold the defense and move on to Championship Sunday? All of our questions are going to be answered right now as Yo-Yo is attacking Temper with Super Witches.
Time is not a factor here, so he can take all 3 minutes if he wants to ensure to that 3-star. Let's see, with a Baby Dragon to the left, that Warden's going to take his time. No, Angry Jelly on the Warden to kind of force him into some defenses. Choosing the Owl here, getting a little skips, gets that extra value as the Warden will push his way in. 1 invis, 2 invis, Earthquake, and hits the Inferno Tower to take that value down. And now we can start with the Super Witches. Maybe after the air defense?
Oh, yeah, he's going to let that Warden take the air defense out for sure, so the healers don't get taken out. But a beautiful setup there with the Fireball. Look how much of that base, Carbon, I know you talk about like the L of a base and like breaking that base down into quadrants, and he did just that. That bottom quadrant is almost all but done for. Now he's going to go ahead and bring in that Siege Barracks with those P.E.K.K.A.s. King's going to join the party. The Super Witches are in. The big boys are bouncing. Yo-Yo needs to push into Temper's base, and 3-star for the victory.
He's pushing through some Headhunters. The Ice Golems are there. The defending RC, there's a lot of damage he's going to experience, including a defensive rage spell. There's a jump. Remember, no Warden ability to be able to be used since he already used it earlier with that Fireball. So it's going to come down to the protection of the King that potentially get used with probably some Earthquake Boots in the corner. Really damage everything as Super Witches need to rely on these healers that transfer and heal them back up.
Bing, bang, boom goes the Spiky Ball from the King. The base is opened up. The Super Witches have access to everything they need. Queen still has ability. Royal Champion still has ability. But there's a lot of damage remaining on this base. There's a defending King. There's an Eagle Artillery. The Town Hall falls. Queen is in the poison. Can she hold on? She goes to ability, Carbon. She's hanging on for dear life.
He's got to get the clean up to the top side. Hopefully someone sees it and exactly does it just right there with a Wizard. So ensures that time won't be a factor. Hopefully the Wizard can move around. Has a few left. Drops him an Archer in the corner. But the RC with her ability, defending King is going to be a little bit of a problem. But look at that. Left the Eagle Artillery for the very end. That is risky, but able to still take it down, move through this King, and get through the ground.
It's a victory!
They're celebrating, they're cheering because they're liking the attack. It's looking like Yo-Yo's delivering for Tribe Gaming to put them up to a 14-star performance because Milliseam MG, the best they can get is 13 stars in this match. If the RC can hopefully stay alive, though, wait.
Yeah, she got it. She's fine, Carbon. He's going to go ahead and wall break if the Witch is out there, but the Phoenix will clean it up. But nonetheless, he has the percent needed for the victory. He will have the big boys bounce out here, and this will be a 3-star. There's plenty enough time, 20 seconds remaining, and those big boys destroy that final wall. 3 more buildings remain, and Yo-Yo 23 delivers on the grandest stage of them all. He takes down Team MG with his tribe teammates, and we see them get their first victory of the tournament. We still have Team's attack, which is very important.
Oh, yeah.
We need a 3-star still from them.
Don't count it out because they still need to deliver, because it will come down to a tiebreaker scenario potentially, and that's where Stanima Esports are now sitting backstage really paying attention to how many stars. Granted, to be honest, it really doesn't matter what they get because you have to tell yourselves, you've got to go for the perfect war.
Carbon, you said he could use the whole 3 minutes. He almost did just that. 2 minutes and 50 seconds there for Yo-Yo. But I love this decision there. Go with something he's comfortable with. Use up that whole clock. If you have to, go for it. And it's a 3-star and try to get that victory. But on the counter to that, normally we're like downplaying things. This attack is actually very important. With Team having the win over Stamina Esports, if they can get a 3-star here, they're still only going to be at 13 stars. Remember, SCMN, they got to 14 stars. So it's really going to all come down to our final match of the day.
It will come down to that final match, but Temper, an absolute pro, knows what he's doing, and he's looking to deliver, coming in with the 5th and final attack from Team MG. Let's see what you got, Temper.
The war has been decided, but a 3-star is still needed. Team MG look to bring their total stars up just a little bit more, and Temper coming in with another zap. Lalo, we saw him do this in the last matchup against Stamina and got a 3-star.
And Temper, his hit rate really improved. This is probably why he's at the 5th position, because his hit rate was 73 in the original hard mode, but that jumped up to 90% in the newest hard mode. So that's probably maybe one of the reasons they really want him to be attacking last to clutch it up for their team.
And he's embraced that role really well. He did a great job securing that victory with the perfect war last matchup against Stamina. But now he needs the 3-star. He needs to make sure he gives it all he has. Queen setting up here. Did a beautiful zap there in the middle. King's going to go ahead and join the party. He's going to push these heroes right inside the base. I would assume the King's Earthquake Boots should be able to open up everything. But keep an eye on this Flinger. There's really nothing down there besides that bow, but it's probably going to be faded by the time it gets to that bow, so it should be able to pick up tons of value.
Yeah, the value is looking fantastic for this Flame Flinger as the King's ability goes off with the Earthquake Boots to allow this Queen to easily step in. No super wall breakers to allow the Queen to get any extra value deep into the base, but it will have to take out this Clan Castle. Very nice. Won't do really anything to the Lalo portion, but look, he's already used a Flame Flinger, which means you can't take a blimp. Sometimes I do, when I plan my attacks, not gonna lie, I plan with a blimp and I plan with a siege barracks, and I realize that I only have one.
Yeah, that would be broken if we could use 2 Carbon Fin. I mean, I need 2 most of the time. But Temper did a great job. I believe he used a Flinger on the last attack as well. He did a great job of managing his balloons and that Warden's Eternal Tome to protect those balloons as they soared over. However, this Town Hall is in a very, very awkward position here, kind of central in these last few compartments, and there's a Rage Tower in there, there's multi-Infernos, there's a lot of damage that can be dealt with, so managing the spells, managing the Warden ability is going to be very, very crucial here.
I'm wondering if there's a Tornado Trap right between the Monolith and the Town Hall, because where the Hound flew, there wasn't. But here we go. This could pull the balloons away from the Town Hall. Be careful. I don't see anything just yet. Yes, the Town Hall goes down. There wasn't a Tornado Trap there, unless it was somewhere earlier that I missed, because it's continuing to crush through this base. Look at all these balloons, and Temper making it look flawless. Such a beautiful execution.
Even in defeat, the young man keeps his composure and executes such a beautiful attack here. Man, it is so satisfying seeing a good Lalo. That has to be one of the most satisfying things in all of Clash of Clans. We see this minion working on that Clan Castle. It's going to be a 3-star. It's just a matter of cleanup and time. Super minions will come over and assist that minion, and it's a 3-star. But Team will fall to 1-1 in Group B with a 14-13 loss to Tribe Gaming.
Congratulations, Tribe Gaming, getting match number 2 victory here today. They will be playing in the next match against Stanima Esports. And what they decide in that match will play a huge role. Will they be able to continue their success? 14 stars. Remember, we now know Millicene MG came in with a total of 23 stars. Now we have Stanima, who were at, what was it, 13 as well? Or did
they were 14.
14.
So 28 for MMG.
Okay.
We'll have to see what Stamina does. So there's a lot riding on this next matchup. But before we even consider any of that, let's throw it down to Banks. He's got an interview for us.
Welcome back to the main stage. Thank you so much, gentlemen, in the caster booth. Fantastic work so far. Oh, it's with this camera. Hey, guys. I'm joined by Kingsman from Millazim MG. Now, this is the difficult part, right? Because you're 1-1, and you kind of just have to sit and wait and see what happens later today. Do you feel like you've done enough?
I feel we didn't done enough because we did 2 fails. And into the tiebreaker, it might be difficult, so we just have to hope Tribe wins the war now.
Yes, exactly. That's the problem. You're just going to have to sit and wait and hope. Now, I feel like I would be doing the fans and the people at home a disservice if I didn't mention the shirt removal in your first war against Stamina Esports. Was that just so that you could show them who just destroyed their base and got 100%?
Yeah, we had some little issue with STMN, so we were glad to be able to do a good celebration like Messi with Barcelona a few years ago.
I like it. Now, you know what? Speaking of the war that you just had, Tribe actually said earlier this week that the war that they're most looking forward to competing in is against you guys because they consider you good friends. Now, if you go up against them again, it will actually be in the grand final. Was that something you'd look forward to? Would you wish them well?
Yeah, for sure. We wish them well. I hope they qualify and they win the next match so we qual also. But yeah, it would be an amazing final against them, so looking forward to it.
Yes, you should be. And finally, I just want to give you this opportunity to say something to the fans, because you've got a great fan base here who've been cheering you on this whole time. Would you like to say anything to them?
Yeah, for sure we want to thank them a lot, because they did the travel to Finland, and they are by far the best supporters here, so glad to have them with us.
I heard a sigh from the Tribe guys over there. But thank you so much for joining me in this interview, Kingsman. Thank you so much. But for now, we're going to head back over to the casters to continue day 2.
Wow, what a performance we saw there. And unfortunately, Millacene MG, they didn't get a victory in this, which means that their tournament life is still on the line. And it's going to come down to what happens in this final match here today to determine the 2 teams that are going to advance, Bash.
My apologies, that's my bad. But turn on the mic, Bash, of course. They have to feel helpless, though, because they have no control over this. Really, Tribe and Stamina, they control what happens next. If Tribe win, obviously they move to 2-0, that's obvious. But if Stamina win, we have a lot of tiebreakers, and then we'll have to talk about all the stars. And obviously, it all depends on what happens in that matchup.
It's going to be an epic 3rd match you're not going to want to miss. It's coming up as the next one. And that's going to be Tribe and Stanima Esports. They're yet to be faced as we're taking a look at the results again of this match. 14-13. Unfortunate performance. Millacene coming away with a perfect war in their very first one. This one is only 13, so now they have to sit there, cross their fingers, and they are worried. They got to hope that there's defenses coming in and not that these teams are getting perfect wars, because then scores are going to play a huge role.
Yeah, it's going to be average stars across, so even if Stamina do get to, say, a 14-star loss, or victory, rather, that percentage, that 85% could come in. There's so many tiebreakers that could come into this, and really, man, I'm really interested. A lot of us were talking backstage, you, I, Judo, Itsu. We all felt that this group could be really close and could be a 1-1-1-1 group, and that's where really this last matchup's going to decide things. But however, I mean, Tribe, they control their destiny. If they win, they're in no matter what, and then Millacene doesn't have to worry about those tiebreakers. So really, Millacene backstage, they're going to be Tribe. You know, they're going to be rooting for Tribe. They have to.
Yeah, at this point, they are rooting for Tribe. Indeed, you're right, because they do have that very first victory. It is only if Stanima Esports do win this next one, Then we come into a scenario where it's 1-1-1. That's what I was thinking it was going to be this weekend. But I was thinking it was going to be in a different way, different scenario, which means that my predictions would kind of be wrong. But, you know, you never know what you're going to get here at the World Championship. And that's the beautiful thing about it. These teams are bringing things that we just didn't expect, especially since when they qualified with their golden tickets, it was a completely different meta.
Yeah, I don't think it's completely unexpected. We haven't seen anything overly new. I mean, there's been some variations of things. I think it's more of the execution. I mean, look at those couple Wallow attacks there for Tribe Gaming. The times were crazy. 2 1-minute and 14-second attacks with that crazy fireball, giant arrow combination. So I don't think it's like they're really doing anything unique or different. I think it's just the preparation and understanding what they want to do and executing that as a team has been the key.
But as this is the final match, the pressure, the nerves are starting to settle in. But Millicene, they're just going to be sitting back watching. Man, I can only imagine being as a player. So let's take a look at the MVP of this most recent match. And it is, wow, that was close there. Exosys coming away as the most valuable player. Rikira's just a little bit behind at 25%. But again, they hold their destiny in their hands. They win, they advance. That would also mean MMG advances as well. So, the pressure badge.
yes, indeed, Carbon Fin. Honestly, I kind of thought that was going to be tied, but Itsu, welcome back to the desk, man. What a crazy matchup that was. We had 2 defenses. I mean, you were watching backstage. What were you thinking?
I mean, overall, I was really surprised by the game plan of Millicene because I feel like they did not really had to win this match, which might sound really weird, but if they would have just went for 15 stars, like for example the gameplay was for Stamina early on, 15 stars would have had them guaranteed in the 3rd day, which is overall then surprising that they tried to win the match, tried to match the speed which Tribe Gaming did, because they still had to win a match. And this is like the important thing you're looking for in this group stage. Win at least one match, and then you can play around tiebreakers. But with getting 15 stars twice, and even just losing one of them, you're guaranteed on match day 3, with already having one of the teams failing. So yeah, a little bit surprised there by the overall approach by Millicene, but I think it can happen. It's really stressful for all of the players. But as well, I have a replay prepared for us because we were talking about speed, and Tribe certainly brought this to the table with the attack of Exorcist, and he really showed how much value you can get with the fireball. So let's just play this attack. He is going with a lot of the damaged equipments from Tribe now are just incredibly powerful. And take a look at this. He is just bringing a ton of invisibility spells to take the entire first part of that village invisible and then throw an incredible fireball into the middle of the base. This already deals a lot of damage, but this means more importantly, all those second layers, like all of those buildings here, are gone. This means the Warden, there's less damage on the Warden, so he can stay alive with those healers, with the Rage Aura. Now the next thing is he's preparing on the other side, which means he's having this compartment right here, but having the King walk into this section of the base with the Town Hall still left standing, but he's really trying to heavily funnel this side and then having the Spiky Ball going into the Town Hall, and this really was the clutch moment for this attack, and this was where the crowd was going wild because this was the key moment. Really clearing out this compartment, understanding the pathing of the equipment and how you need to set them up, really elevated this attack to a complete different level. And then the Rocket Loons, we have seen as well, Super Barbarians being such a great support for the bottom side, support in general, and them just going crazy, cheering on stage. I think well deserved because that attack was amazing and incredible and really showcases how good those equipments are if you set them up correctly.
Absolutely. Equipments play a huge role in that spiky ball attack. I'm going to be going back and watching that, the way it goes right through, taking that Town Hall. But also, not only using the spiky ball in this match, we were seeing Tribe utilizing the giant arrow that we weren't seeing at all this weekend.
Yeah, first time we saw that, the spiky ball, or not spiky ball, excuse me, fireball, giant arrow combination. It was so fun to watch it. Even though we saw them miss, they were able to recover it well. But I kind of want to circle back to what Itzy was talking about there before you started the telestration. It is a very interesting thing because not even necessarily 15 stars, but if they went for 14 stars here with a high percentage, they could have locked things up. So maybe they go with the Warden Walk, the Hero Charge with the Super Barbarian attack. I think that's very, very interesting. So do you think it was like they were trying to keep up with Tribe, or was this their game plan coming in? Should they have adjusted on the fly? I think maybe like being on the stage back to back, they didn't really have time to plan that.
I don't think they really considered that, to be honest. It felt like they were just trying to go for a win back-to-back, go for like the safest route, which is this 2-0. And it was really a special case because we had the fail in the end of Stamina Esports, which caused this exact position to be so powerful, because you could go perfect, which we have heard from all of the pros already, that with certain strategies, you can really nicely force that. But this is then less likely going to give you the win, as we have seen with Stamina Esports, because you're falling so far behind with the time. But that was not a factor anymore. They had the win, and Stars being the first tiebreaker, yeah, I was surprised. But as you said, going back to back into the matches, I feel like that was not something which they really caught in that position, and that then, yeah, might have cost them the entire third day, depending on how the next match is going to play out.
Yeah, and we're just being told right now that they're running the numbers backstage that if Tribe hits 14 stars in this next match, they are guaranteed a spot in tomorrow's single elimination. So that's what they're going to be fighting for. 14 stars, Tribe is in. So anyone that's here or at home, the number to keep your eye on is 14 for Tribe. If they're able to do that, they're moving on to tomorrow.
Whew. Wow, that's intense. But speaking of intense, let's take a look at our caster predictions so far. How are we looking, fellas? Well, Bash looking good. Oh, yeah.
Don't look at mine.
But like you said, Carbon, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend like I did anything crazy. I predicted for a 1-1 group, and that I just happened to get the order right. So far, anyways.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of us were predicting close matches, and I think so far all of the matches delivered. Never really like a big blowout on any of them. So yeah, I think I can see why we went with those predictions. And the next one just being so intense between Stamina and between Tribe. And I think it's not good news for Milliceme that Tribe only needs 14 stars, because if they are now playing it smart, they're just going for warden charges. They don't care about the win itself. Like, they can just do warden charges, and as long as they get 14 stars, they're going to be on day number 3. Are they going to do it? That's the question, though.
That is the question. Are they going to change their strategy? They're going to be like 3 stars coming up against us. Perfect Wars. They don't care. They just want to hit those 14 stars. And you know about those predictions, right? I was going for low score. You know, I was going for the teams that were losing the matches. No one told me I was supposed to be predicting the people who were supposed to be winning the matches.
Well, I think one big thing here is the new format. We've never had, at least in the Worlds, is this group into final day single elimination. And it is very interesting because it's a small round robin. Yes, all the teams play each other, but it is a very small round robin with those tiebreakers. Yeah. So I think this is something that maybe these teams didn't foresee, is needing those certain numbers, because it's such an unconventional approach compared to what we're used to versus every other Clash of Clans World Championships.
Yeah, it is for sure a completely new approach, and especially I feel like there's extra pressure on the line for the team, which is having to play back-to-back, and that is exactly what Milliceme had to do here. They were playing the first match. I'm pretty sure they were super pumped about the first performance they did, and I think they showed that and expressed that really nicely on stage. But I think that might have carried them away a bit too much. I think that's how you could put it, but let's see if it's going to have effect on the outcome of the overall total day.
Yeah, we'll see if it does have an effect indeed. But let's go ahead and recap, in case you missed it, what happened so far this weekend. Day number 1, we did say goodbye to Na'Vi. So it was Synchronic and M.T.F.Y that have advanced. And take a look on day 3 semifinals. They're already placed. Synchronic's at the top, M.T.F.Y is at the bottom. And now we have coming down to the final match. Yesterday, we already knew the 2 teams that advanced because Na'Vi was already eliminated. But now this match will decide the final 2 teams joining in day 3, since it is a single elimination semifinals, and even that grand finals is still also single elimination. We're so used to double eliminations over the last few years, and essentially almost all the years. They're so used to that, but now the pressure is really there when it comes to tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of pressure, but we will decide Group 2 very, very soon. But before we do that, guys, we have another interview with Banks.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, over in the caster booth. Welcome back to the lounge, where I am joined by a very special guest from Supercell. It is game programmer Anders Rostgaard. Anders, thank you so much for joining me here. Now, for the uninitiated, could you please explain in a little bit more detail what you actually do at Supercell?
Right. I understand game programmer sounds very large.
Generic, yeah.
Generic, yeah, exactly. So game programmers is generally the group of programmers who implement the logic. So the gameplay changes, things like supercharge, like equipment, all that kind of stuff. That's generally what we do as game programmers.
Now, as a key member of the game team, what's it like to see these players and these teams create these unique strategies and play the game in ways that basically none of us could really ever have imagined?
I mean, it's absolutely awesome. It's so amazing, right? I mean, we always say that, you can never underestimate players because they create the most crazy things. They're so creative and come up with so many different things that we never would have thought of. It's absolutely amazing.
And the way that we see them compete, does it actually affect the way that the game is designed? Do you use kind of how they use the game, and then does it affect you guys on the back end?
Oh yeah, obviously. I mean, there's first of all, there's a bunch of balance changes that we do. I mean, Brute Riders that got nerfed a couple of times, for example, but also things like we're seeing very prominently here being used, like Fireball and Spiky Ball and a lot of these direct damage equipment. So that influences how we think about equipments that we're going to be doing in the future, for example, right?
I mean, I have to ask though as well, are there any updates coming up that you could give little tidbits of information to anyone at home? I mean, you're going to get swarmed after this, by the way, if we give away a lot of information.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're working on a lot of different things. I think about, 17 different things or something along those lines, right? But I can promise you that the stuff we're working on is something truly heroic.
Ooh, truly heroic. That sounds pretty good. Nice t-shirt you got on there. Thank you, Anders, for joining me in this interview. What an amazing chance to actually catch up with someone as a game programmer, someone who's really in-depth inside this kind of Supercell baby that is Clash of Clans. For now, we're going to go over to Itsu and Judo to continue day 2 of the World Finals.
So it seems like that we had some nice hints in that interview, and I feel like that Reddit and social media will tell us for sure what exactly that is all about. But we are all about that next matchup, that final matchup of the second day, which is going to decide who is going to make it to the final day of the Superfest.
And it is going to be an interesting one, to say the least. Anything can happen. Any of these teams can still go through. Obviously, we've seen Millicene MG play both of their matches. They could still go through based on what happens here. They could go out. Anything is still possible, Itsu, so it certainly does just build the excitement.
Yeah, and as well depending on how much do those players now play with the bracket? Because we have already identified Tribe needs only 14 stars. They don't have to worry about the win that much anymore. So it really depends on how much do they play into, first seed, second seed, because that might be a factor as well, because we already know the seeds of the Group A, so they know who they would play. If they have a favorite, they might want to risk it then to go for the first seed in their group, which is then maybe having as well some risk at all if you make it to the third day.
Yeah, I think I would clarify that the 14 stars is what Tribe require, and because percentages tend to be so high, we assume that if they get 14 stars, they would hit the percentage, but they would actually require an 82% 2-star because they actually got a 14-star war. And basically what it would lead to is 28 stars overall, which is what Millicene MG have. So in terms of catching up a percentage at that point, Tribe's 14-star would require at least an 82%, should it even come down to the tiebreaker situation. But if Stamina were to play their strategy that it seemed they were doing coming into this, just go for the perfect war and aim for one defense, that's all they need, then they're looking good.
Yeah, so there's still a lot of options for the outcome of this group, as we're trying to show you with playing around the numbers, the percentages, the stars, everything, which is deciding finally who's going to be our last two teams to make it to tomorrow, to the final day of this World Championship, because tomorrow we have then 4 teams, 2 semi-final matches, and then 1 final match to crown the world champion.
Absolutely. We've seen Synchronic go through in impressive form yesterday. 2 perfect wars. Then M.T.F.Y with the upset versus Navi. So they are already qualified through. It's really just who is going to play who, because Synchronic going through as the number 1 seed would play whoever places second in this group, which is still in the air, and I feel that's where Milliceme MG were trying to go. Like you said, they could have just played perfect last war, went with a slow strategy. As long as they get the 15 stars, they're through. But they really wanted that number 1 seed in order to play M.T.F.Y seemingly, but also just put a message across to the other teams as well.
I mean, I can understand that as well, because Synchronic is waiting the first seed as well. But
yeah,
let's take a look at the predictions from our side for this last matchup, who we think are going to win. And it's actually going to be somewhat one-sided with Tribe. We were picking this before of the day, so not influenced by the performance so far of the teams, but still, Tribe has showcased a lot of skill in this last match, and especially I feel like we're one of the better teams as well on defense, and that is something to consider as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I think, like you said, it's super important to mention we came into these before the matches. And I would definitely be leaning more towards Stamina than I was when I made these picks, because despite the time fail at the end, I feel they were very calm and composed throughout all of the attacks. The Warden charges they were doing, as safe as you could call them in terms of getting the 3-star, they require so much skill. And they were able to multitask at a phenomenal rate here on the big stage as well, which is why I picked Tribe Gaming. They have that experience, they have the stage presence. But I was actually really impressed with Stamina's performance despite losing that first match. So this one is going to be super interesting, given that Tribe did have a 2-star in that last war, and the Nebrax attack was super close as well, you know? It's closer than you think this next match.
Yeah, I think overall there were a lot of close match attacks in the last match, but we're talking a lot about the match. I think we should get ready, and there's only one man to introduce us to the matches, and that is Bax.
Thank you so much, Itsu and Judo. And yes, it is time for our final war of the day. The margins between these teams are so slim. There is literally no room for mistakes. And of course, something to take note of, that Milliceme MG's fate quite literally hangs in the balance of this next war. So, your first team to make their way to the main stage is Darkstar, Fluxy, Synthé, Hawk, and Ninch. They are Stamina Esports. And their opponents, Exorcist, Kronos, Yo-Yo23, Rikirez, and Nebrax. They are Tribe Gaming!
Okay, Tribe Gaming entering the stage, and the war, this day's performance literally is in their hands. Stamina could go out without, you know, anything. Even if they perfect here, should Tribe do better and win the match, Stamina are out. They can't do anything about it. So the entire group is in Tribe's hands.
There is a lot of pressure as well then on the Tribe side, and I think the Tribe players know exactly that. Can they show up? But let's talk about Stamina Esports first. They have put so much time into preparation. Darkstar, Fluxy, Synthé, Hawk, and Ninch. But can it pay off in the second match? We have not really seen that in the first match, that the defensive preparation which they have put in, the time which they have put into the bases, was like really paying off, and that I think they were not happy with that. The question now though is, did they predict the Tribe players better? Were they expecting the correct entries? That to me is really the biggest question of this match.
Yeah, Fluxy being an ex-Tribe member back when they came second, right? Like, he knows the team a little bit more inside out, you could say. So if their bases were going to defend any one of the teams, you would think they have a better chance versus Tribe, and I really think that was their game plan. They just wanted 2 15-star wars and a singular defense, which would have won them that individual match and put them through to the grand finals without revealing anything.
Yeah, that was exactly the position Mid-team was in, because they have gotten those 15 stars.
Yeah.
So the cards were kind of reversed. And this means that they were not able to play their hands as safely in the second match. And this is now where this match is so important. At the same time, though, I want to kind of highlight that Tribe is by no means safe. We know Stamina put a lot of time into the base building, so they can fall still. But I feel like the fans are quite in favor of Tribe.
Looking at that last performance, you could see why they predicted Tribe on event.supercell.com, but we are going to be diving straight into this one. Rakirez had a super impressive attack opening up for Tribe last round, and it seems like he is going to be kicking us out of the gates this time as well.
Yeah, and he has used a strategy which he's super known for. So this is for sure an option where Stamina could have predicted it, but I think we should really find out on our own. So let's dive into the attack.
Here we go. The final war of day 2. Anything is still possible. So strap yourself in and get ready for the Clash of Clans action. We do have the Lava Loon attack from Rakirez, exactly as we might have expected. He is so good with this. But let's see if he can pull it off when it really matters, Itsu.
Yeah, and the lightnings look to be quite obvious with the Rage Tower and the Mojang Tower. This is something which you always want to take out if you're playing one of those air attacks. The question is, where are those traps then for the hero dive? He's doing that from the top side, trying to go for the second Rage Tower with his queen, but he has to force her into that opening. There is no options, not too many options for wall breaks, because with those openings, you never really know where they would go.
Exactly, using the Earthquake boots there initially for the Barbarian King, now following up with the Log Launcher. Golem still tanking for the Queen, but she's going to peel across towards the enemy Queen, I would think. Rage Tower does pop though. I feel as long as he gets those multis, he's happy.
Yeah, Queen walking inside, walking outside, but she can reach that scatter shot from over there, which is not too bad. The second Multi-Front Tower in the core would have been great, but I feel like at this point, it is already solid value. The Multi-Front Tower, though, has to be something which has to be considered moving forward, because there could be a lot of traps around. The Yetimans are trying to take down the Rage Tower. The Queen has survived so far and could be an important factor moving on.
Yeah, this is something we've seen from Tribe in the first match as well. Just half of the Lalo used initially, making a strong push towards the Town Hall. There's the Warden ability, catching the Lava Hound, moving across to the far side air defense as well. That's where we're now reinforcing with more balloons. Town Hall goes down, and that multi is the only real issue as Rakirez freezes it up.
Are there any red mines? Are there any traps in general? There's the first red mine popping up. The Multi-Front Tower is staying alive, but I feel like with so many loons swarming the back end, the Queen still alive. The crowd is cheering. He is smiling. I think they already know it is going to be the first 3-star of this match. Rakira is starting things off again with those 3 stars. Amazing job.
Absolutely incredible. Remember, Tribe Gaming need 14 stars and 82% on the 2-star attack that they were to, quote-unquote, fail on in order to be guaranteed moving forward to Sunday's finals, or tomorrow's finals now, irrespective of what happens with Stamina here.
Yeah, but as well, I feel like you could as well, with having this option of fail with 82%, you would still try to push the limits, because the question really is, with how the first day played out, do you really want to play versus Synchronic? They have looked so far like an incredible team who has, they have been so prepared on offense and defense. It is really scary to go up against them, so they might just try to push the limits a little bit until maybe they have the first 2-star, if they even get any at all. But on the other side now, we have Stamina Esports with their first attack. Darkstar is going to lead the charge, and he played a lot of Lalo in the past as well. The question though is he going to go with something different? Are they going in with the safe options? Warden charges again? I think we will go into the attack.
Tension builds. I can assume that they're going to do the same thing here, Itsu. Yeah, we do have the rocket balloons. We've got the Angry Jelly on the Grand Warden with the Fireball. And I think Stamina have to just stick to their own game plan. I know they slipped up with the time fail at the end there and that of Fluxy on their last war. But otherwise, I think their game plan was solid, and they should just stick to that for this war. So a nice, slow start here, just setting up the Warden and getting into a position where he can get major damage with the Fireball, Flame Flinger to the opposite side of the base, so we're carving different sections.
But this is as well like a message to Tribe, because they now know, hey, we can like chill. We can like calm down now with our attacks and don't stress too much about time. We don't have to take any risks. We can go whatever we think are the safest options right now as the Fireball is crushing into their core. And take a look at even the Eagle going down. That was a lot of value for Darkstar.
Amazing value. The Fireball is always that one moment that could turn the attack on its head. So every single time, you are just keeping your eyes laser focused on that. Darkstar getting the value that he wants. Notice the Flame Flinger just continuing to chip away at the other side of the base, outranging a lot of those defenses. The Scatter Shot about to fall, and as the Warden moves towards the Monolith, he's out of range of the other heroes, so he's not going to be attracted to the King and Queen that are moving in at the south of the base.
He's trying to take down now the Scatter Shot because that is out of range of his heroes, out of range of the King and Queen. So he wants to have that out, which he does nicely with those rocket balloons, which are just so good in supporting those heroes. As the Warden is slowly but surely making its way towards around the job site. At this point already the base looks crushed because he has not even deployed yet that Royal Champion, which we have seen so many times with the Rocket Spear as well. The Queen slowly taking down that defending King. He has no chance whatsoever, and with her ability she should be able to take down the Town Hall. No problem whatsoever.
Yeah, a bunch of skeleton traps popped at the top there by the Grand Warden, so he did have to use the invisibility spell to keep him alive. Nice call there from his teammates, or even just spotted it himself. Town Hall about to go down, so surges the rocket balloons in from the left side of the base. It is going to be a 3-star for Stamina Esports as well, kicking this war off exactly as we expected it to.
Just playing it safe. This is the name of the game for them so far, and they're crushing their defense. Is it going to work though this match around? Because it has not worked versus Millicene. They were figuring out their game plan and were trying to counter it with their own Warden charges. Tribe now has the chance, but on the other side then, are they able to execute those? Are they able to play those strategies? That's the big question. And as well, we have seen some close attacks from them, which means there are possibly fails. And this is then the really important moment where Stamina Esports can turn around the match and can turn around the entire group.
Well, we've seen in the first match from them that even if it's looking like the war is going to be perfect all the way through, you never know when it could be that last attack that is the slip-up. So Stamina sticking with their bases. They prepared over 400 bases for this tournament, then had to narrow it all of the way down to the best ones for each match. So they've put the preparation in, and that's why they're relying so heavily on this game plan of just getting the 15 stars and getting a singular defense. Will it be Darkstar's base versus Exorcist?
That is the big question. We see already they're discussing what exactly the next step for them should be, as I feel like they are keep going with their strategy. But we are ready again, so we are diving into the attack straight away.
The pressure mounts with every single attack. And here we go with the Super Witches, totally different from Exorcist's approach last time, where we had the very fast attack, shall we say. Starting with his Warden to the right side of the base with a couple of invisibility spells and his Earthquake. Presumably we are still looking at setting up the Fireball here. Did you happen to catch the equipment at the start, Itsu?
I don't really remember that, as I feel like that we were skipping through them really quick, but he is going with that Warden Walk in the beginning, trying to set up the funnel. But I'm surprised that we're seeing the Super Witches. Yes, they are really, really strong, but they are relying on those healers to switch. And we all know that sometimes those healers have their own mind when it comes down to actually protecting those Super Witches. And there is the Fireball, another invis, but he's delivering it into the core, and we have...
Oh no!
The Town Hall is out.
But like you said, and like we both noticed, that's a big deal with the Warden going down. Yes, he got the fireball value, but typically you pair that with the Rage Gem so that you can power up the rest of your army as well for the Super Witches, but more importantly for your healers to keep them alive.
The healer's rage up is such a big game changer. At this point, he has only 2 rages left, and there's 2 defensive rage towers. They're just dealing so much damage. The Warbreak is rolling in and is getting the connection and is getting the base open. But right now, it's only the Queen making her way into the core. There goes the Earthquake boost to open up everything. But there's another rage tower on the back end. The Royal Champion, though, has not been deployed yet. He has the Druid to reinforce the outside troops. There's the Giant Bomb, a lot of damage. And there's so much base left, Judo.
A lot of skeleton traps as well, popping towards the outside. Looked like it might have drawn the Super Witches out to the outside of the base, but fortunately for Exorcist, they do move back in, but they're down! They literally both just went down, his 2 Super Witches. So he doesn't have any damage to support. He does have 1 actually, which is about to go down in the center there, so no more Super Witches. It's to Royal Champion ability, but it's very close towards the back here with a Ricochet Cannon and the Royal Champion.
But I feel like with the Royal Champion ability, he should be able to push through. The Eagle finally is gone. Remember, that was alive since the beginning. The Queen has to stay alive. That will be a massive support as the Hawks are swarming the back end. Yes, they don't have that many hit points, but there's a protection there. Protection for the Headhunter, protection for that Royal Champion. It's going to be still the 3-star. He is clutching things out. An incredibly well-played strategy with the problems in the beginning, but he's following up with the spells, with the troops, and is really getting his troops into the core.
Yeah, well done to him on that one. And this is one of the reasons I picked Tribe Gaming to get the victory, because when things go wrong on the main stage, you have the opposing team literally staring you down. It's not easy to compose yourself and make sure to get that 3-star. And after the Warden went down, he was able to recover that incredibly well, getting that 3-star. But I have to say, that's 2 attacks now, 1 this war and 1 the last war, where Tribe Gaming did use the Super Witches, and both of them were nail-bitingly close.
They were close, but in the end, they were clutch to get that 3-star in. And I feel like there's another point about this big stage, about the big tournaments, that is, you have to show up when it matters the most. And that is something which Tribe has done quite a lot, especially in this year where they were having to perform. They're having to perform a miracle to actually get to this stage, to get the golden ticket, to win versus a team which they have not really beaten many times over the entire year. And not just once, no, they had to beat them twice in this Dutchlands qualifier, and they did it somehow. So that is really this clutch factor, which is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is something that you can't prepare for at home either. It is pure stage time experience, and that is what the Tribe Gaming roster is stacked with. We flip across to Stamina Esports again. Ninja, one of the younger players of their team, he did manage to have a very impressive 3-star attack in the first war, composed himself very well. So I guess it didn't look like it phased him in that first round, but let's see what's going to happen in this war.
And he is not just a player, but as well one of their base builders, and he is really creative as well with those defensive styles which he can put up. But right now, he has to perform on offense, and he is going in again with the Warden charge, this strategy which they have played so much in this tournament so far, and have said, hey, that's our strategy, we're sticking to this, we have tried to master it, to be as consistent as possible, getting our 15 stars and relying on our defense as he's slowly approaching further into the base to get the fireball, most likely on one of those Inferno towers, to get the Rage Tower down as well.
Yeah, looking at this, we've seen 4 Seeking Air Mines down there already, which Ninja has very successfully managed to avoid by sending in those balloons one after another. Once he sees one, he knows that there's potential for more, so he's gradually been sending them in. We had the Skeleton down there. There's another Seeking Air Mine tribe, clearly aiming to bait this area of the base, slowing Ninja down, if nothing else, even though he is dealing with this incredibly well.
Yeah, so far he did a great job. Another skeleton trap popping up, which means at this point he had already crossed the first 60-second mark. And he has to make sure that with the strategy, you already have time issues, and you have to make sure that you're not running into too many time issues on the end. Remember, it is in hard mode, which means the equipments are capped. The common ones are level 15, the epic ones are level 21. The heroes deal even less damage, while the defenses deal more damage. So overall, it is way harder, especially with those time-intense strategies.
Yeah, we are halfway through this attack, still just setting things up very rhythmically here. Warden down to the bottom, Flinger on the left. There is the invisibility spells, does get the Warden fireball off in order to take out a bunch of defenses in the middle. Has to be careful here as well if he does want his Warden to survive.
But I feel like with not taking out the Client Caster and possibly a lot of Ice Golems in there, this will be a big problem with time. We have the Supermans at the top side doing their best. The invisibility spell to keep that Warden alive. The Queen and King are slowly making their way towards the Town Hall. But due to, at this point, we're having only 55 seconds left. Time is ticking for him.
Yeah, this is that pressure situation as well, where you know time is ticking, so you have to get moving, and that is where mistakes can happen. Super Minions not getting great value to the left side of the base. Couple of defenses, but more just cleaning things up. Like you said, here comes some Ice Golems into the last 30 seconds, and he still has to push through them to get to the Town Hall, Itsu.
And there is no wall break. The Queen cannot reach the Town Hall, and that is terrible for him because the Warden just went down. The Royal Champion is stuck on the Ice Golems we were talking about. He's trying to reinforce. He's trying to save this. There's the Raid spell. There is the Earthquake for the Town Hall. Does the Town Hall go down?
Wow.
And yes, the second star is secured. But remember, for the group, you don't just need stars, you need percentages as well, because that can be so important moving on.
It is an 86% at this point, which means they will stay ahead of the percentage that we've seen of Milliceme MG should they lose this war. Well, actually, they'd be out, wouldn't they? So what am I even talking about? They have to still win this one, but certainly they still keep ahead on percentage should they win, but it goes down to that tiebreaker.
And as well, I feel like those attacks, baiting those attacks, are such mind games.
Yeah.
And I feel like the reason why they picked this bottom side is this base overall was quite symmetrical, with one big difference. On one side, there was a cannon. On one side, there was the Warden. They went greedy with that Flame Flinger and went for the, well, Warden side, which means they went then for the other side with their own Warden. That was exactly the baited one. So the mind games, the base builders knowing, okay, that player wants, they want to take that out, that defending hero with that Siege Machine. They 100% want to go for that. And then they're baiting the other side. Really smart play from the defensive side from Tribe, outsmarting the opponent right there. But it's now back to the offensive side. Nibrax is in, and he had a really close attack in this last match.
Think about this, Itsu. Tribe need 14 stars and 82% in order to get through here. So if their 2-star lands within the 82 to the 86% we just seen, they would lose, but they would still go through and knock MMG out. Wow, let's get into the next attack.
So many options, so many possibilities are still open in this match, in this group. And everything is coming down to the last couple of attacks. Nibrax is in, and he's going in again with the Lalo. A similar attack as we have just seen from him, but this time around he's bringing a couple of more healers on top of the healers from the healer Puppet, the equipment of the Archer Queen. And then as well an Earthquake, which is most of the time combined with the Lightning from the beginning. And there we go, exactly. He's going for the core. The front tower not going down. Where's the giant arrow? There we go. And he's getting everything. We were a little bit afraid there because of Ilder Huts. But hey, he's just...
He's got it, he's got it. There was the multi and the scatter shot, and whenever you see the builders ticking away, you never quite know whether they are going to get it with the damage equipment. This is super interesting. Isn't this one of the bases that we've seen versus MMG from Stamina when they were using the Root Riders? This is one of the bases they used in the first matchup. Yes. So really interesting to see it approached differently by Tribe Gaming. However, Nibrax he's known for his A, but he tends to do a lot of dragon attacks in previous times. So it's interesting to see him swap across to the Lalo.
Yeah, but before that he was known for his air attacks in general. Like Lalo was as well one of his really, really good strategies, which he was really good at. But we had the meta shift, so he switched to the Dragons, and maybe that's something which all of the people have predicted from him. The Dragon attacks instead, switching to Lalo, the tunnel is already gone. There is going to be the reinforcement, Lalo from the far right side. We have the Mustache Tower, we have the scatter shot in the core. They have to be a high priority right now to take down.
They certainly do. He didn't quite get a huge amount of value at the top there. I think he was wanting the Monolith to go down quicker. Does freeze it to try and protect the Grand Warden. Balloon sneak to that Monolith, uses the haste. Gotta get towards that scatter shot. He's celebrating. So here we go with another 3-star for Tribe Gaming. Puts them ever so closer to tomorrow's finals. 3 stars out of the gates when the pressure was on, and they are showing no fear right now.
And as well, no mercy, because remember, Stamina Esports has to win this match to stay in this tournament. And right now, Tribe is saying like, no, we want to have the first seed of this group. We do not want to face Synchronic early on. We want to as well get that first seed, and for that, we are 3-starring every single one of your bases.
I was trying to play into their slogan, Fear the Tribe. That is certainly what they're going for here. 151 that attack ended up being, so still a very fast attack. And I feel that's what Tribe are playing into when it comes to those Lava Loon attacks. They're able to execute separate Lalos from different areas of the base to just 3-star it super fast. And they are in a very strong spot right now. Remember, even if they lose this war, they just need 14 stars and 82% to progress. So should they 3-star the next one, they're looking comfortable, even though, I mean, the pressure continues to mount with each one.
Yeah, and the pressure is continuing to increase, and now Cynthia is in. He's a player who is already around for many, many years, so he should be able to handle that pressure on this big stage. But what is the strategy is going to bring? I mean, at this point, we're kind of like asking it, even though we know already, hey, it's going to be the Ward in charge for them for sure, and that is going to be the most likely strategy. And I think, if I heard that right, we should jump into the next attack.
I still remember last year on this very stage where Synthé opened up the entire event with a Skelly Donut, hands shaking and sweating, but he was still able to clutch out the 3-star in such a difficult meta back then. So he is certainly a man that can deal with this type of situation. As you called it, Itsu, using the Warden down to the bottom area of the base, trying to set up that fireball. We have the rocket balloons to finish things off later.
And so far, I have not seen many traps down here. It's a bit hard to spot behind the time, but I feel like so far no ground skeletons, no black mines have been popping up versus that Warden, which was such a successful way of delaying things in the most recent defense of Tribe Gaming, and slowly making its way towards that multi-inferno tower, towards that Eagle Artillery. And then the question is, where is that fireball going to land? Is he going to try to bring it onto that Eagle Artillery? He's having a couple of invis builds. There we go, and there goes the fireball. Earthquakes are in, and the Clan Castle is dropping.
I love the split earthquake there as well in order to take down defenses either side of that fireball. Very nice job by Synthé. And you can just see the pathing that he's creating here so that the Warden can shift across to the left side, continue the walkway. He doesn't really have to focus over there too much now. The Warden's relatively safe, and he can start to focus across towards his heroes.
Yeah, as he's slowly approaching that far right side with his heroes, with the King and with the Queen charging in. The King ability will be used any second to give him more access into the base, give him and open him more compartments with that Earthquake boot equipment as the Warden, is keep moving forward, and he has like 2 moving sides right now who are slowly approaching that town hall with the Queen then with her equipment. I mean, they're looking really good with the Royal Champ, interesting enough, coming in from the far side as well.
Wow, beautiful use of the invisibility spells for the Archer Queen to protect not just 1, not just 2, but 3 Archer Queens to power through the center of the base with the Royal Champion helping out. He only used the rocket balloons for the top couple of defenses. Talk about a statement and throwing things back across to Tribe Gaming. Stamina Esports, remember, still has to win this matchup to move forward. They are behind, but Synthé making sure to give them every hope they need.
What a great attack in the moment where the team needed it the most. They had to get that 3-star in after the 2-star attack, which happened just right before. And now it's back to Tribe Gaming. They are up with their next attack, and they have everything still in their own hands, especially with this one defense already in.
Yeah, exactly. Tribe Gaming can just sit back, play it safe, use their Fireball Super Witch attack strategy if that's what they want to default to, because as long as they triple out, they get this war, they move through as group winners as well, winning both matches, and proving my predictions right at least.
Let's see. I feel like there's still a lot of things, a lot of possibilities happening in this match, and I think there still could be a twist within the match, but we are already ready for the next attack, so I think we should not wait any longer and check it out.
Team Captain Kronos stepping up when they need him to keep the pressure going. I remember back in the qualifiers, you touched upon it, Itsu, but he was that clutch player that smashed the fireball for them to give them this golden ticket. And as we referenced prior to the attack, trying to just play it safe here, get their 3 stars. They've already got their defense. All you need is 1. So they can take as much time as they want. Use the entire 3 minutes, just secure the perfect hit.
And for the perfect hit, we have the fireball connecting, getting him in the value he was looking for. A lot of this base is already gone, and you can see the path in which he's setting up, which he's creating. The most important thing right now is that there's always those double openings for the walls. The first one is the jump one. The second one is the Earthquake Boots. He needs to make sure that he's delaying the King long enough that those Earthquake Boots are really getting him towards the Town Hall. We have seen it already in this competition that the Town Hall did not really open up with the compartments, and that is already a big nightmare for those Super Witches, as he is already sprinkling in with the P.E.K.K.A. from the Siege Barracks on the far right side.
Yeah, P.E.K.K.A. on the right side for the defending Queen and try and take out that area, just set things up a little bit better for his Royal Champion. Queen got a little bit stuck on the left due to some skeletons, so that is not quite taken out as fast, but the Super Witches powering forward. Only 1 peels across to the left, so not the end of the world, as he does make it to the Town Hall. Now we have spell support.
Town Hall going down. I saw a lot of Super Witches dropping really quick in hit points, so I was a little bit afraid there with that merged cannon firing. And we have the Queen on the outside alive, and her ability still left, which means she can spawn more healers and the clones, which are just so powerful on the back end. He's trying to target those wizard towers to take them out. Is it going to be enough power though?
The Valkyries were running forward and they backtracked towards skeletons, and they ran into the tornado trap in doing so. He's really holding on to that last freeze spell to make sure he gets this, playing it safe towards the end. We've got a minute, so we don't have to worry about time. It's just assuring he gets through these final couple of defenses, and you don't care how much is left over. You can have 1 Barbarian with 1% HP left up. As long as you take down those buildings and get 100%, that's all that is required.
He is celebrating on stage, knowing that that was a really, really important next 3-star for him and his team of securing that first spot in this group. And as well, we have seen the Fox staying alive to the end, even though the Royal Champion did not make it that far. But it's always kind of cool to see the pets working on their own as well. And as well, still turning invisible, taking down defense after defense and building after building to help them secure that third star. But I feel like as well it shows for the backhand. That magic mirror equipment of the Archer Queen is just so powerful. We have seen, I feel like so far, equipment-wise, the most equipments, and most of the same equipment for the Archer Queen as well. Magic mirror and healer puppet is like the... I feel like the pros are using them. It doesn't matter what the strategy is, like that combination feels to be like the go-to combination for most of the pros.
Yeah, I think it feels very flexible as well, right? Like you said, you can use it in damage situations when you need to. If the funnel's not quite working, you can pop it early, but we've got Hawk attacking next for Stamina Esports.
And he has to deliver for his team. They are in a really, really problematic situation where they have to triple every single attack and still have to hope for a defense. It feels like, to some degree, like the first match where they were performing quite solid on offense, but the defense did not really work out. Even though they were putting so much effort into it, it just did not happen. The defenses did not happen for them, and this is what they're relying so much with this overall approach. And maybe they just said, hey, we're just switching it up. No Warden charges anymore. We're going in with the Valkyries and the Root Riders.
Yeah, a couple of early deployment on the Druids there, just moving forward to protect the Skeletons, and they are, now switching across towards the Root Riders, trying to just get a dominating 3-star and try and just flip the war in your hands, if you will. But this is very much in Tribe Gaming's favor. Stamina Esports with so much pressure. Hawk is dialed in as he overgrowths the Town Hall and the other defenses in that region to make sure there's not as much damage on the Root Riders as they path to this area.
Yeah, they keep opening those middle compartments, going through those different walls while the Quacha Queen is following the outside, having her healers. We have the Royal Gem equipment. The spear is now active and he's trying to slowly make it towards the Town Hall, but he has another overgrowth and he's going to turn it, well, invisible and invincible yet again. Not many defenses are left standing except that Town Hall. That's going to be the last one. And Corbin, he still has the Warden ability left.
Maybe I look a bit different.
Oh.
Warden ability ready for that Town Hall with the Rage and 2 freeze as well, Bash. Here we go. Town Hall is about to come back alive. Fireball as well for the end, just to finish it off in style.
What a crazy move, knowing that he's trying to delay it to the end. But wait a second.
Whoa, wait a second.
What is going on there? The Town Hall did not go down. And this is a disaster. This is deciding the group. The ones that we were celebrating the cool equipment pick there with the fireball, but they just took the risk. They changed their game plan and went to a different strategy. And the overgrowth, I felt like the last one was not really needed. He was already close by with that Town Hall. And it has cost him everything. The fireball is there. The Town Hall did not go down.
Yeah, he didn't even use the Rage, though, is the interesting thing. Like, maybe he was just thought the Archer Queen was going to get around there towards the Town Hall. It's definitely an interesting move and something that is just very puzzling to see. Like you said, the strategy choice, even the execution of it. And at this stage, I mean, unless Tribe Gaming 0-starred, then they've won the war, right? They've already climbed 3 stars ahead of Stamina Esports, and I feel this is just, again, playing into the scenario that as good as Hawk is as a player, when it comes to the main stage, when it comes to performing in front of all of the fans, you've got the audience around you, it is so difficult.
Yeah, and I have to feel like right now, Millicene is celebrating a
of
lot.
course.
They know this was their defense, or this was the defense which mattered the most as well to them, because this was guaranteed. As long as nothing insanely crazy is happening, this means that they are then the second seed of this group, and they're going to move on to the 3rd day. But there's still a couple of attacks left to be played, with, it seems like, Yo-Yo being the next attacker for Tribe Gaming then.
Yeah, and I feel like Tribe are going to want to send a message here, right? Then they know they can be relatively assured this war. I mean, if they 1-star, they're going to get it, but Yo-Yo will be aiming for the 3.
He's going to aim for the 3-star for sure. The question, though, is what strategy is he going to pick? It feels like Tribe Gaming so far did not heavily commit to 1 or 2 strategies. They were mixing it around quite a bit. But I feel like the Super Witches were a staple which they have used quite a bit as well, but different versions. Something which they have liked to use is the Fireball and the Giant Arrow combination for the Town Hall, and this is what we see for Earthquakes right now. He's going to try to deliver that Fireball next to the Town Hall, if not even on top of the Town Hall, with then following up with that Giant Arrow and taking that Town Hall out right away. There goes the Fireball. The Earthquake's already in. The Archer Queen. Where's the Archer Queen with the Giant Arrow? We're waiting for that. And okay, heart attack for 1 second, but yes, Luckily, the Town Hall is a big building in Clash of Clans, and he was not able to miss it.
Clips the side of it just to keep the suspense here in the arena. But that is the start for Tribe Gaming, so they win this war. They will move through as the #1 seed in group number 2. But let's see if Yo-Yo can finish off in style, getting them the perfect war. Looks calm and collected down there as he's got the troops on the outside from the siege barracks creating the funnel. His main push moving in towards the center, and the Royal Champion just nicely sliding through the center there and through the middle of them both.
Yeah, I feel like this is the perfect base for this type of attack because there is this channel which the Super Witches can just go through. They can reach everything from it. I mean, they can, because the Raid Tower is positioned in there as well, they can just reach everything which is located next to those walls, and this base just looked crushed. I mean, we have the Queen, we have that Royal Champion ability still left, and even though the Raid Tower has been activated, he has still a couple of spells to support the backhand, which he's right now using nicely.
He's got the RC ability now getting used. I mean, the Hog Riders do take a lot of damage there, but with the Rocket Spear, couple of troops left to deploy. 3 Super Witches, P.E.K.K.A.s, Wizards, so many troops taking down the back end of this base. Tribe Gaming, with their fans in the audience, can celebrate. That was a dominating victory over Stamina Esports, and they move to tomorrow's grand final day. What a performance from Tribe Itsu.
And I think we did not just hear the Tribe fans cheering, we have seen the Military fans cheering as well, because they were as happy about this last 3-star as the Tribe fans right there, because it means that their team has made it as the 2nd seed to the next day of this competition. Another thing which I would like to highlight as well is the usage of the Royal Champion from the Tribe players within those Super Witch attacks, because we see a lot of time to really common equipment combinations, which is for sure the shield with the spear and as well the haste vial with the Hog Rider puppet. But Tribe likes to mix things up. They're going with the Hog Rider puppet for the protection, for the invisibility of that Royal Champion, and on top of that they're bringing then the spear to make sure that she's like stop moving and attacking then, while the Hog Riders are going in and tanking for other troops as well. Just generating those hit points is quite nice, and I feel like that is something which we have not seen as much from the other teams, so that would be something to keep an eye on moving forward. But we have the last attack ready for this matchup, so let's check it out.
Fluxy, team captain of Stamina Esports, will be aiming for his 3-star given what happened in the first war, and he'll want to just go out in style for his team here. Root Riders, the choice again, despite that last attack. Only 1 overgrowth in his composition this time though, Itsu.
Yeah, and I feel like I like that a little better, because with the timing of that last overgrowth, it made it a little bit awkward approaching the last couple of defenses, and especially the Town Hall. Leaving it up till the end for so long is a certain risk for sure within the hard mode in Clash of Clans. But right now, things are looking solid. He is moving in with those druids, which means he can delay the Warden ability a little bit. He's decided to go with it early on anyways.
Yeah, looking good here as they progress into the center of the base. Notice the Royal Champion up the top there as well, helping to take out some of the defenses to control their pathing through the base. Now we see that overgrowth on the Town Hall, just to make sure there's no damage from over there as he approaches that area, can funnel everything down towards the south, and the Royal Champion continuing to get really good value around the Town Hall, just stripping out those defenses.
Yeah, getting those defenses while the big group of Root Riders are pushing in from the far left side, and they just keep pushing forward. We have the Valkyries as well in there in the mix, and there's just this combination which is so powerful. The rage and the spells, the remaining, are getting invested for the Royal Champion to take down that Town Hall while the other troops are cleaning things up. And Corbin, this attack is looking crushing because he still has that Queen ability left. It's going to be the final attack of this match. It's going to end up in a 3-star.
Very nice job by Fluxy there. Very comfortable for that 3-star attack. He can at least go away knowing he has redeemed himself at the end. Very good performance by him and his team. But give it up for Tribe Gaming, the winners of this match and winners of group number 2.
And that is as well then the final standings for the first Group A and Group B, which means we have the first 2 seeded teams with Synchronic in Group A and Tribe in Group B. And as well, we have the second seeded teams then with M.T.F.Y being Group A as second seed and MMG as the second seed in Group B.
Exciting times. It's going to be hard to predict, and we are obviously going to have some intense matchups. Some of the teams, I feel, still haven't revealed their full hand. They've been sneakily getting through these wars to make sure they can give us the best action tomorrow. But let's throw it down to Banks to hear from the teams.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. In the caster booth, great work as always. I've got Kronos here from Tribe Gaming. What an incredible performance to close out day 2 of the World Finals. You got to be happy with that performance, right?
I mean, we have to be. Great crowd. Shout out to them. I think something that happened with us in the LCQ especially is we learned to appreciate wins and learned to appreciate tough matchups. And like, getting a defense, it means so much. Just like you guys probably saw the LCQ, we were on our toes all the time, and getting a defense is like, what is this? What happened? But yeah, obviously super glad. Tomorrow, new day. We need to be prepared for that, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's true. Now, we've got to talk about that journey, right? Securing the silver ticket, then securing the golden ticket. An absolutely incredible run by you guys. What's preparation been like since LCQ to here? Like, what's been the primary focus? I mean, because we've got to give a shout out to the base builders out there because those defenses are just so important in this meta.
Agreed, but I think a big part does come down to how you prepare both mentally and in the game itself as an attacker. I don't want to take anything away from our base builders, don't get me wrong. But I think a big part is like how you prepare. We saw Navi yesterday had their own approach, STM had a similar approach to them, we had a completely different approach. And different teams, different times of the year when they qualified, maybe that also plays a big factor. So we'll have to wait and see tomorrow when the groups clash, how it will go.
Now, you've obviously spoken about everyone keeping their mental game in check. You're the captain. Is this something that you take on board to make sure that everyone's level-headed, everyone's calm? Like, how do you kind of approach being a captain for your team?
I mean, you're always able to gauge the vibe, like within the comms, and then I instantly, like, there's certain cues. I know these guys, we've been playing together for like, what, 3 years now? When there's certain cues, I'm always thinking to myself, yep, okay, I need him to calm down. I need him maybe to focus more on the plans, less on screaming. No names to be mentioned. Anyways, yeah, for sure, to answer your question, and I think it's a big factor as well, because obviously we need to, like, especially this year, we need to perform as soon as a defense does come in, the whole, like, how do you say, the whole dynamic changes. You go away from, okay, no more quick hits, that's full safety, and that's it, yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal so far. Everyone make some noise for Tribe Gaming here on the main stage, securing the victory in their group. You can see the passion, you can see how much it means to them as well, and we can't wait to see you guys in Championship Sunday tomorrow. But for now, we're gonna head back over to the casters to break down that war.
Well, we have different strategies indeed from the different teams, and we have seen from Stamina sticking to one strategy mainly. It has not worked out for them, what we have seen from some other teams, Synchronic, Tribe Gaming, the first seeded teams of those different groups, that they were trying to as well identify different things which works for them, and maybe as well something which they're not known for, or was maybe forgotten for some players what strategies they played. I feel like it worked out quite well for them. But the final match results, and take a look at that, exactly what we have seen there. The first attacks have to be quick. Darkstar showed the hand of STM and Esports with they keep going with their slow attacks, and you see immediately the reaction of Tribe Gaming. Exorcist with their next attack, he went slow. He went and tried to go for as safe 3 stars as possible, and that was the plan for the match, and it worked out really well.
Yeah, I think there's so many different mind games, and what I really like is how there's so many different approaches you need to have as backup plans, depending on what happens with the other team, and as the match is unfolding, that is going to be intensified with tomorrow's matches. But I think we should take a look at who the MVP of that matchup was. Do we need to say it? He won the last one, he wins it again. I think you could have picked any of the Tribe guys there, to be fair, but Exorcist winning the MVP once again.
He's as well showing a lot of energy on stage, so I can understand that this is as well like boosting those votes for sure. But overall, an amazing match. But let's welcome back our next caster with the Telestrator. We have Bashir. How did you enjoy the match?
That was a great match, back and forth from these two squads. I really was like watching, I was like, who's going to give in first? And then we saw that first mistake, and that kind of compiled into another one. But I did want to break down one of the attacks from Tribe Gaming that I think was kind of key. And I wanted to take a look at Rakirza's Lalo attack. I think he did a really great job just breaking down the base, and we're going to talk about that here in the telestration segment. I think the Lalo was really key here for Tribe, so let's go ahead and let's hop into this, pull up this replay. So keep an eye right over here. He's going to go ahead and zap out right here the multi-target Inferno, the Rage Tower, and just get nice value. But whenever you zap, you want to connect your heroes to that zap. When you punch a hole in the base, you need to connect in. So what he's going to do is he's going to bring in the King and the Queen to kind of just work in through this way. The King's going to go through the middle, the Queen's going to go down this side, and then finally the Royal Champion to connect to that hole he punched into the base. What he also does here is he brings in a log launcher from the top, which, keep an eye on that log launcher. It's able to deal out some damage and help take down some of those key defenses in that compartment. He does have Yetis inside of that log launcher, which maybe he was hoping to get a little bit more value, maybe hop over and get some of those Yeti mites popping over to this multi-target Inferno, but it doesn't go down. But one thing I found really interesting about this attack on defense was actually this Electro Titan. Not something we really commonly see on defense, and this Electro Titan actually kind of stalled up the Yetis, as you'll see the Yetis and Electro Titan fighting through here. But keep an eye on those heroes. They're continuing to work through. The Royal Champion did get taken out over here, but now with all that pathing set, he's able to go ahead and sweep through here, and he's got great pathing set for the Lalo, and that's key. I was a little bit worried watching this about this multi-target Inferno, but he does a great job with his balloon deployment. As you have the balloons surging through here, he keeps sprinkling in these balloons. You got balloons here, balloons coming in here, and finally balloons over here just to take down those few defenses, and that allows everything to circle in here and get to that final multi-target Inferno. And I think this really set the tone for the attack. I think the Lalo attacks have been very strong for Tribe, and I think that was a huge key for them winning this group too. I think we all talked about how this group could have gone either way, but I think bringing in the Lalo, bringing in the variety and the consistency helped Tribe secure this group. Oh, I guess we're not ready to cut off. My bad. Sorry, it's threw to you a little early there. I'm the new guy.
All good, Bash. I feel like as well with the Electro Titan, that is really showcasing how maybe Tribe did surprise that they're switching back to some older strategies, because I would assume they're expecting something like an air attack, maybe like Dragon attack, trying to target Nibrak specifically with some defense. And the Titan can attack air troops, so it can mess up quite a bit of things. I think you have seen that over the Clash of Wings season with the Lavaloon troops. It can be a little bit annoying on the defensive side, but let's take a look at the recap of the first bracket of the second day.
Yes, we had such an exciting day, didn't we? End-to-end stuff. Match number 1 didn't look like any team was going to crack. Milliceme MG, though, getting the victory 15-14. Tribe Gaming then coming out of nowhere, getting multiple defenses against Milliceme MG, and then again versus Stamina Esports. So Tribe Gaming moving through as the number 1 seed to play M.T.F.Y, who was second in yesterday's bracket, and then Milliceme MG moving through to play against Synchronic.
Oh man, I'm so excited for Championship Sunday. We have some great matchups, but let's go ahead and take a break and hop back over to the stage where we have Banks and Carr.
Thank you so much, Bash. Well. Just one day remains in the Clash of Clans World Finals. It is going to be an absolutely phenomenal day tomorrow. We cannot all wait. But Carbon, I need you to kind of give me a little breakdown. Who was a standout player or team for you today?
Well, today, I think Tribe Gaming really stepped up. Of course, Exorcist being the MVP, but all in all of them together really showed what they have, coming in as the last team to get that golden ticket and making it to Sunday was really impressive.
It really was. That $1 million is almost within reach. And we're going to see tomorrow who will take home the lion's share of it. First of all, thank you so much to everyone for watching. If you're at home or right here live at Superfest, it's been incredible to see you supporting all of your favorite teams. To all of the players, production, and talent, you've all been phenomenal. Keep doing what you're doing. You're all amazing. My name is Barney Banks, and we will see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. Clash on!